A UN, a Space A Wolf Squadron. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10, doing things differently this Sunday. We have a show at the regular time of WCR Weekly. Why is it? Why is it like this? Because we have a special episode for you guys. And if you see the banner, we are sharing culture. I'm here today to share culture on the Finnish perspective. Am I saying that right, by the way?
Finnish.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Finnish perspective on pop culture, along with my today's co-host, Artificer Joni.
Hyvää alkuyötä kaikki. Good early night, everybody. Time zones are fun.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Speaking of sharing culture, our time zones are completely different. So let me welcome those who are in the chat right now. We have Brian Gil Martin with his usual stuff. He says this ought to be an interesting talk. And where are my manners? I'm supposed to directly properly introduce him. He is the Maverick Hunter Saint, Brian Gil Martin. We have Sam. Help me with this
Samuli
one, because
Olki.
Samuli Olki. I was about to say Samuli. Let me start again. Samuli Olki. I think I nailed it. 9 out of 10. Thank you. He says, hello all, gonna pop back in for a bit. Something came up. Good going, Joni. He also, we have Sam Proctor as well. He says, never heard it pronounced Finnish. I thought that was the fancier way of saying it. And I thought the American way was Finnish, like how you say it. I'm finished with my breakfast, or I'm at the finish line. I thought that's us ignorant Americans, mispronouncing. Whereas I thought Finnish was the actual the actual pronunciation. And here I am corrected, and this is the reason why we're doing this today, guys. This is the reason why we're doing this. It's just to share culture. We're actually going to This is actually bringing in what I try to do with this show, which is the mandate is to share culture. What my mission statement has always been: share culture, like how we used to do back in the 90s. We shared culture amongst us Americans, most definitely, but we also had you had the usual Hallmark shows or Hallmark movies that has those foreign exchange students or those foreign visitors, if you will. I'm not sure. Is it? By the way, Joey, what's your take on the term foreigner?
I don't mind it. I mean, if you're not from the country you're currently at, you're a foreigner. You're a guest. You're foreign. I mean, what else? What other words are we supposed to use?
Technically, if I was to visit Finland, right?
Yeah.
I will be a foreigner.
Yeah. People would say ulkomaalainen or vierailija.
I'm sorry, say that
visitor. Ulkomaalainen is foreigner. Ulko, outer, maalainen, lander, a foreign lander. And vierailija is visitor.
It's going to take a while for me to actually really speak the language. I'm a little slow on the uptake on that one. That's you going to have to Rosetta Stone me on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that doesn't help that Finnish is one of the most complicated languages in the world, or well, on any of the Finno-Ugric languages. But we'll get to that later. Continue.
So yeah, the pop culture aspect. My curiosity will be what pop culture are you really into, or like what kind of things do you like to enjoy? Before we start with that, let me not forget Daniel Herron, who who made a mistake upon entry, and he says his keyboard kind of screwed him up.
Yeah, I understand that. Typing on mobile, which I'm like sort of stuck on, is a pain. So I understand you, Daniel.
Yeah, speaking of, yeah, he's actually, yeah, he's on his mobile. Unfortunately, his was it your PC?
Yeah, my PC wouldn't connect to the internet for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I should just move it and check it with a new LAN cable.
You want to hear my my theory on that one?
Go ahead.
Um, I'm the government. I'm the government. I'm the reason nothing works. Not kidding. Maybe you have gremlins. Maybe you have
Fully
you,
possible.
you
The-
turn on all your lights.
Finland is filled with various spirits and monsters.
Oh, you know what? Before we even get into pop culture, yeah, you tell me what legends you guys tell, or what legends you guys have over in Finland.
Well, that's a good start. Uh, Finland and the Finnish people are sort of the not Europeans of Europe, or the sort of Europeans, as the ancestral Finns did not come from Europe. They came from Asia, what is now Mongolia and China. And they traveled uh, westward, passing through what is now parts of India and Pakistan, where we met the also lovely Aryan people, whom we had some sort of conflict with, I guess, because the our word for slave is derived from the word Aryan, or the root word for it, Orja,
Hmm.
Aryan. And we also picked up a whole bunch of vocabulary there. For example, our word for 100, sata, and the word for 1,000, tuhat, are of
Hmm.
ancient Indo-European origin, and which is a good subject as any, as Finnish is basically the freezer for languages, and we basically have the root word version of a lot of Indo-European words. Uh, for example, the word king is preserved in Finnish in the most primal form of kuningas,
Hmm.
which kuningas is from the ancient Germanic kuningats. So
I'm gonna attempt this. Uh, Help me out here. Kun.
kuningas.
Write it down in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
private chat.
Oh, private chat. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's okay. Perfect, fine.
Okay, let me try this. Kuning gas.
Bit shorter, and the ng sound is like kuningas.
Is it M or H?
N.
Oh, are you saying the G is silent?
No, it's pronounced, but it's the uh, hmm, I'm trying to figure out the English
We'll
word
figure this
with that.
out.
Yeah.
This is a mystery, everybody. We can solve this. Bring your Scooby snacks. All right, let me do it one more time. And you can give me whatever score you like. You don't have to be nice either. All right, let me try this. Kuning shit. Excuse me. I'm laughing because I'm embarrassed.
No, don't be. The fastest way to learn a language is to make lots of mistakes.
Of course. Kuningas.
I'd give that an 8.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Kuningas. Uh, you can give me some more stuff to try out. Continue
Yeah.
with your
Oh, yeah, history lesson. Yeah.
well,
So,
yeah, I was asking legends as in fairy tales or stuff like that. But if you want to give the history,
yeah, I
do so.
thought,
Do
I
have at it.
Yeah, I started with the history, so we'll get to legends in a bit. Then
Go
we
ahead.
went through the Ural Mountains in modern day Russia. Uh, folks, of course, stayed behind at every point, but eventually we entered what is current day Finland. Possibly, at least for the Sami, they came basically before the rest of the Finnic peoples, and this was maybe like 3000 BC, 2000 BC, at the very least 1000 BC, and what the modern day Finns came around around the year 0 maybe. The research is always a bit contradictory at the exact date. So,
Right.
but
So the bulk of it seems like the bulk from my understanding, from what I'm hearing right now, the bulk of your history is that you guys like to travel a lot.
uh, sort of.
Um,
That's. But as with any uh, uh, nationality or peoples, everybody travels and then
right.
eventually settles down. So, but yeah, and now is when we meet the Proto-Nordics, Proto-Scandinavians, and that's where the modern Finnish people start becoming Finns. And um, here we see the mixture of the Proto-Scandinavian and Proto-Finnic faiths of gods and spirits, and here we get the legendarium that would eventually become collected as the Kalevala, our national epic. And in the beginning of time, when everything was the sky and an endless ocean, Ilmatar. Of course, there are many legends exactly how it started, but in the Kalevala, Ilmatar. It's been a while since I've read it, but Ilmatar is swimming on the ocean, and she has 2 eggs on her stomach. One is made of gold, one of silver. They crack. Shells of the golden one become the sun. Shells of the silver one become the moon, and eventually land is raised, and Ilmatar gives birth to Väinämöinen. Vaka vanha Väinämöinen, tietäjä iän ikuinen, steady old Väinämöinen, the eternal sage. Väinämöinen is basically the most important part, one of the most important people in our mythology, and contrary to Indo-European myth, where the most important people are kings and warriors, our top dog is a scholar, a searcher of knowledge and information, a singer. And I have this personal theory that parts of Odin was inspired by Väinämöinen, or the early variation of, because the very warlike Germanics, it feels odd that the god of knowledge would become their most important god. So I think we might have had a part in that. What else? Then we also have a pantheon of gods, half of which are bound to forests, like Tapio and Mielikki, who some might know from Forgotten Realms novels. And which is a good point to mention, that a lot of fantasy actually takes inspiration from Kalevala. Like Tolkien was inspired by the Kalevala, Väinämöinen in particular, and he based his one of his elven languages, Quenya, on Finnish. So when we get to that one comic page, you might see or hear the similarities. But
Okay. Yeah, we do have a web comic at the ready. So when you're ready, I'll share the screen for you. But if you want to continue your history lesson, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Uh, Around was it the Northern Crusade? The Northern Crusades happened around 1093, was it? Uh, Finland and Russia, I mean Sweden and Russia, start annexing Finnish territories, and uh,
You said annexing?
Christianity. Yeah, yeah, annexing for a lack of better term. We didn't quite have a solid form of government. Every tribe was for itself, basically, and
Yeah, I know.
what
I'm familiar with that. I'm slightly familiar with that word. Yeah. Last time I checked,
ah
it's not a really it's not a very good word when you hear it.
yeah,
If
but
correct me if
this
I'm
is
wrong.
from a Finnish perspective. Uh, they came up, took Finnish territories, and forced people to obey by the rules, pay their taxes, so on, so forth. Uh,
Right.
let's skip ahead a few centuries. Uh, oh yeah, Finnish people are very stubborn. So while the rest of Europe was having the Protestant Reformation and Catholics arguing with said Protestants, Finland was still worshipping in places the old pagan gods. The father of the Finnish written language, Mikael Agricola, wrote about several Finnish gods and spirits in one of his texts. And the last Catholic bishop of the time, who didn't even step into Finland, wrote how Finns are race of, was it devious sorcerers uh, and something along those lines, which is kind of nice, I guess. The most skilled sorcerers of the world. I'll take the compliment. Uh, and a few centuries later, when colonization of America started, Finns who were part of or most Finns were part of Sweden at the time. So some went to America around 1635, and we brought with us the log cabin. That's a Finnish invention. You guys were
A
using
world cabin,
a log cabin.
large cabin,
Log, Log.
L uh, lock.
I'm using
I'm
the
sorry,
English word. Uh,
lock cabin.
yeah.
Did I say that right?
Uh, uh,
I'm sorry. I'm fumbling.
uh,
You said
I'm
L O
fumbling.
K L O
Yeah,
C K
log, log cabin. That's the English uh,
log
word.
log. Sorry,
Yeah, log cabin. And
Brian Gilmore helped me out, and Sam Proctor. Thank you guys, and you helped me too, Joni. So
yeah,
yeah.
these streams are chaotic, and I like it. Uh, and did
Actually, you know what? Before we continue on, do you feel do you feel welcome into my streams when you pop in?
oh yes,
Is
yeah,
it
most assuredly.
especially when you first came in last year? Because I know you appeared last year into my
Mm,
stream. I know you and I have met. I believe in Ishi stream, right?
yeah, yeah. And you can thank Samuli for recommending Ishi's streams to me. So
Oh yeah, thank you.
yeah,
Let me try to say it right. Let me try to say it right. Samily, thank you.
yeah,
Because my
and
brain my brain I'm still trying to condition my brain to say names right. You know me, and I stress this enough. Names are important to me, and if I like you enough, I try to say your name right.
mm,
Or at least if I like you a lot, I know I want to give you respect and put some respect in your name, if
mm,
you will. I don't know if you heard that phrase before. It's quite recent.
Hmm. Uh, where was I? Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
uh, as Sweden tried colonizing America, and they had this new Sweden, and the Bronx was started by a Swedish, uh, I don't know, merchant by the name of Brunks, and
Hmm.
which was so changed into the Bronx. But by time, people like hearing differently and pronouncing it differently, and centuries later, many Finns basically settled the Bronx and Brooklyn. But most Finns went to Minnesota and Michigan, from what I've gathered. And
Kind
Finns
of makes
had
me
to,
wonder, are they still around, like original Finnish and are you who was the one that
they're still around, mostly in Minnesota and Michigan. The
okay.
Bronx and Brooklyn were mostly abandoned around the 50s, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah, continuing the history lesson, which I tried making it short, but things get out of hand. Uh,
it's fine, Joni. We know your shtick. You 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 know we know this. And it's
yeah,
fine. It's fine because the more the more we listen to you, the the more interested we become. I'm like my curiosity is being fed right now thanks to you
mm.
actually.
And many of these things will become important at the culture discussion point. But yeah, Finnish soldiers had to fight for Sweden, and we were basically their stormtroopers, their elite guard, and so on and so forth. Uh, at some point, the Hakkapeliitta unit is formed, and they basically were the best of the Swedish military, and they set fear into the enemies of Sweden. And I read at some point Polish grandmothers and so on would scare their children with tales of Finnish soldiers coming and nabbing them. The stories of Finns being witches was still around at this time, so but I haven't had the opportunity to ask any modern Poles if those stories are still around. So
Right.
maybe we'll get a viewer one day who can fill us in. Uh, some centuries pass. People start wondering, hey, this language doesn't resemble anything in Europe. People start looking around. People start noticing, hey, the more we go towards the east, the more Finnish the languages start looking like. And Finns gain the reputation of being China Swedes, forest Mongols, and this would later in America cause problems as people tried to use the Asian Exclusion Act to keep us out. Didn't quite work
Hmm.
out, but there were a few civil rights cases where Finns eventually won and were considered white enough. And yeah,
They weren't
uh,
considered white enough.
yeah, 60% of Finnish men are of the was it N1C haplogroup, which is shared by some 50% of Mongols. So in a way, there's truth to it. And average Finn has about 2 to 5% Asiatic autosomal DNA.
Hmm.
But continuing on, around yeah, the around what's it 1806. I really should have looked up that date. Russia takes over Finland. We become the Grand Duchy of Finland, and because Russia wanted us to not immediately start rioting and resisting, rebelling, they raised us into the status of a nation, and almost immediately national romantic feeling starts swelling, and the Russians start by start trying to ban our language. Thanks. Eventually, one Russian governor, Bobrikov, is assassinated, and things start going bad again. I forgot. There's this good poem. I'll just go with the English version. Swedes we were not, Russians we will not become. Let us be Finns. And well, the Russian Empire falls apart. The Proto-Soviet Union gets a Finnish delegation of, yeah, we want to be independent, and that goes on for a year. And in 1917, Finland gains its independence by the Russians going, yeah, go ahead. Lenin's plan was that Finnish communists would take over the country, which did not work out, although a civil war was fought. And what is called the White Faction won, and Finnish stayed a democracy. Germany tried interfering, and I suppose their plan was to turn us into a protectorate. Didn't work out because Germany lost World War I, and we never got a German prince as a Finnish king. They tried that, which is why we have a thing called President in Linna, the president's castle. Doesn't look like much of a medieval castle, but hey.
Yeah, it's better than nothing, right? Or just take it for what you will, right?
World War II happens. Soviet Russia wanted our land. We told them no. They launched a Black Flag attack on Mainila. The shots at Mainila, where they shelled their own village, and tried telling us we did it. This led to the Winter War, which you might have heard of.
Might have, but I probably no. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't heard of that one. They didn't teach that in my history class in high school when we were studying World War II.
Yeah, every country usually focuses on its own part in the Second World War, so I suppose it's understandable.
Yeah,
but here we get.
Well, actually, I will. I think we do talk about the French Revolution. We do. Well, actually, no. I think we do talk a bit about what the British do, what the British participation in World War II and the French participation. But I think that's only because we were probably so tight knit at that time. The moment we entered into the war I believe. Y'all can correct me because I get my years wrong. I think 1943 is when America. No.
Was it 41?
I think it was 41. Actually, I think it was 41 when we started.
Yeah, when Pearl Harbor was attacked, that's when you guys got really into it.
Yep. Exactly. It's right after the attack of Pearl Harbor. That's what motivated us.
Yeah.
To get up off our butts. Yeah, Sam Proctor corrected me. He says it was 1941. Yep. See, I'm sluggish on my World War II because I was very extensively trying to study World War II at the time. Continue what you're saying. Sorry, Artificer Joni.
Yeah. Well, one of our most famous people of that time was oh God, why did I forget his name? The sniper, the White Death, Simo Häyhä, who, according to records, shot around a bit over 500 people with Finnish-made Mosin Nagant rifle. Or was it? No, wait. I think it might have actually been an American surplus the Finnish military bought. Forgotten Weapons has a good series of episodes on this. But yeah, he used a Mosin Nagant for his sniping without no scope, buried himself in snow, put snow in his mouth so he wouldn't breathe, no scope for so that the glint on the glass wouldn't uh, uh, reveal his position. The Soviets actually tried artillery bombing his locations to kill him. Didn't work out. He
Of course it didn't.
he took out an additional 200 people, give or take, with a submachine gun, and basically his
With just a submachine gun?
yeah, Suomi SMG, if I remember correctly.
Make him sound like
Basically,
the original John Wick.
I wouldn't be surprised if John Wick was in part inspired by Simo Häyhä, because many snipers have been inspired by Simo Häyhä, and at least one comic book artist, the mangaka for Golgo 13, was inspired by Simo Häyhä, and a Japanese tourist, Pilgrim, basically told about the Golgo 13 story in a Finnish radio show once. And well, oh yeah, we did get some foreign aid at the time for the Winter War. Some Swedish, some over 8,000 troops from Sweden volunteered, and some people from basically all over the world because they wanted to fight communism. And we did get some tanks and planes from, I think it was England, Germany, and a few other places. The only Finnish-made tank had an American-made suspension system, the Christie suspension system, and that tank can be seen in the Japanese show Girls und Panzer, der Film. Oh, the film version of
I have seen the film version of Girls Panzer, and I need to continue to watch the series because
Yeah.
I think I'm like scratching the surface in the series. I'm not really specifically in the middle yet, but I have watched the movie. That was some entertaining stuff right there.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't heard, check out Girls Panzer. It's a wild ride. I will say that it's a very wild ride. It's How do you best describe Girls Panzer, Joni?
High school girls sports club is driving and attacking with tanks.
Yes. It'll be a what's that word? It'll be misrepresenting it if I would say it's almost Magical Girl with tanks, but it's not Magical Girl because there's no magic to it. It's just girls driving tanks, just beating the crap out of each other on the battlefield. It's like if you took the concept of Fury and put schoolgirls. Well, not necessarily the concept, but just you almost take the plot of Fury, but you put it all in like you add some World of Tanks.
Yeah.
Mix it. Go ahead.
Sports anime with tanks.
Sports
anime with tanks. Yeah, that's
starring girls.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Realpolitik happened, and England, America had allied with Russia, so we were in a very tight spot. And of course, there's always debate of did we have much of a choice. From a Finnish perspective, no. And I just read a comment about somebody quoting his grandfather. We would have allied with the devil, but Germany had tanks. So yeah, we weren't technically allied with Germany. We were co-belligerents, technically fighting the same war but separately. And we didn't like this arrangement. And when the German diplomats wanted you know who to be sent to them. We have no
Oh, you can
Jewish
say Hitler.
question. Yeah,
You can
yeah.
say Hitler
When Hitler
on my
said,
stream.
when Hitler wanted our Jews, uh, we basically said, "Wir haben keine Judenfrage." We have no Jewish question, and we didn't send any Finnish Jews. Apparently, there was some intelligence service that backstabbing bastards with Nazi sympathies apparently sent a few refugees, and Risto Ryti, our president at the time, was furious, livid, and our current then commander-in-chief, later president Mannerheim, was also livid, and after the war, there was Mannerheim visited a synagogue in the memory of fallen Jews in the war, and we had there is a phrase or word of Finn troll. That's what the Vikings called us. Oh, I should have mentioned them, but we'll get to that. Finn troll, and this showed up in World War II because German soldiers visited and fought alongside Finnish forces. Finnish Jews would have field synagogues within listening distance of German troops, and they sang very loudly. And the only recipients of German Iron Crosses in Finland were 3 Jews. Things, as you can might imagine, was very interesting at the time. And America had some plans for Finns if the war was lost, which was basically to ship us all to Alaska and commit complete cultural assimilation, which was in effect to have us all speak English and only English. And as you might have noticed, there's an ongoing thing of foreign people trying to make us start speaking Finnish.
As of right now?
Not so much right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Germans start thinking of something. And
so since that history, have you guys had any good relations with Germany as of current year? I'm saying, or at least like loose relations with Germany.
Well, right now we are both members of the European Union. Soon may it fall, but basically at the moment we're just another European nation in the Union at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before we continue, I'd like to welcome also Dread 2012 Death. I think somebody else had joined recently. I think he's the only one that's joined recently. But welcome once again, Dread 2012 Death. For always showing up when when we least expect it. But it's always a welcome visit. That goes for anybody, and that goes for anybody who's new. It's unexpected, but it's always a welcome visit. Dread has also not. Let's not be around bush. Dread is a regular here. He's always welcome. Same thing with everybody else who frequent this stream. But yeah, welcome, buddy, and welcome back, Sammy Lee.
Yeah.
I got to condition my brain to say it right.
It's okay with Finnish and English. We both use the Latin alphabet, but the English pronunciation went vowel shift. Was it around 1200, 1400? I should recheck it. So you guys pronounce it very differently. If
Right.
I do a
Right.
really quick, the vowels are in Finnish: a, e, I, u, y, and then we have o, and then we have a and ö. I'll type it in the public chat.
Okay.
This is
Uh.
a, a,
Ah.
and yo, and then we have ö, ö, ö,
Uh.
yo,
Uh.
ö, ö,
Uh.
ö.
Now it sounds like Sylvester Stallone at this point.
Mm, mm.
Or we keep this going. I'm going to end up doing Arnold Schwarzenegger grunts.
Yeah.
Get to the
We are.
chopper. Continue,
Yeah. Uh,
Joni.
we picked up these two letters from German monks back in the day because we have such a large amount of this as and ers. So if we tried using just the Latin alphabet, we wouldn't really get anywhere. And for example, I'll write up the Finnish word for ice. Yeah. Yeah. Try writing that with the Latin alphabet. It would
Wait,
look a bit.
pronounce that one that you just posted in the public chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. And yes. Oh yes. The Finnish language is part of the
Everybody,
Finno.
jo- we're here to share a culture, but Joni ended up taking me to school.
Yeah. It happens. Finno-Ugric languages, and it's completely unrelated to the Indo-European language group. And oh yeah, I mentioned the Vikings earlier. The Vikings
Oh yeah.
actually feared the Finns, and they would not come here that much. In fact, I vaguely remember a Viking saga that's basically a slasher story set in Finland, and there's a Finnish sorcerer at the end, calling
Oh
in
wow.
thunder and lightning.
Uh, Speaking of Vikings, are you familiar with the History Channel by any chance?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not sure it
So
shows up here, but I've seen the Vikings TV series.
I was about to ask you that. What's your take on that show? Because I've been a very dedicated fan to that. I fell off for a while because we don't watch cable anymore, and
Hmm.
I haven't visited my library to check to see if they have any copies parts, and I'm about to really start buying physical media at this point to finish that series. But what's your take on it? If you've seen it.
I've seen it. I've seen it up to the current point, at least what's on Netflix, and I like it. It started degrading just a bit with the death of a main character, but I'm hoping it will
Yeah.
pick up. But it's a pity
Yeah, I
they.
was a witness to that.
Yeah,
I was a
yeah,
witness to Ragnar's passing.
yeah. Ragnar Lothbrok. Yeah, uh, I
You know
know
what?
it's
You know
about.
my favorite line from Ragnar. You want to hear
No,
my
go ahead.
favorite line?
Go
This
ahead.
is how you treat me, and everyone who wants you dead, I kept you alive. You hurt me, brother. You hurt me. I get teary eyed when he says that. After everybody who wanted you dead, I kept you alive.
Mm,
Or from Floki, Rollo, you've betrayed us. Come to
mm,
Floki. Come to Floki. By any chance, besides Ragnar, who's your favorite character in Vikings?
Oh, I actually liked the monk Athelstan. He was.
Oh
I
my
like.
goodness.
Yeah, uh, the conflict between Athelstan, Floki, and Ragnar was real treat to watch.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I also like the English king, what the old guy.
Um, let me see if I can remember his name. Because his son was it Uthred?
Yeah, I
I
think it was
probably said
his
his name.
name. The son's name was Uthred. Uh,
Hmm.
Uth, but yeah, I really like the show.
I did like
Uh,
that king though. I did
yeah,
like that king,
uh,
especially when he faked outrage.
mm,
For
yeah.
lack of a better term, he faked outrage at the Viking colony slaughter, and he
Oh
does
yeah,
that
that was
little
good
gleeful
one.
smile.
Oh yeah,
Bruh,
yeah, that was a good one.
bruh, when he did that, I almost threw a fit. I was like, "Oh, you mother, you faked that." Oh my goodness, you tricked me. You tricked me. I loved you for it.
Mm,
I loved you for it.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. But yeah, it was great to see that they used Sami people uh, at one point. But I'm surprised they haven't used Finns more because the highest, second highest archaeological number of archaeological finds of Viking swords is in Finland. You'd think it would be like Sweden, Norway, uh, Denmark, Iceland, but no, it's I don't know which is number one, but number two is Finland,
Hmm.
and a number of Finnish mercenaries did work for the Byzantine Varangian Guard. I've recently learned, but yeah, sharing culture back to the modern day, I suppose. Uh, from now,
Chad
I
done
personally
exploded
like.
when we talked about Vikings. I think we should talk more about Vikings next time you come on here.
Yeah, yes, let's. Uh, but
I will
yeah,
title it "Talking Vikings" with
mm,
Artificer Joni next time. But
yeah,
continue.
yeah. Personally, I like books. I really should read more, but I haven't been in the mood. Uh, though
Yeah,
I
me
did
too.
I
I'm
did
slogging
buy.
through. I'm sorry. I'm slogging through the conclusion of Fire and Blood right now of
Huh,
Ice and Fire series.
ah,
I'm actually and I recently purchased a Clash of Kings, but I'm not gonna start that one until I purchase a Game of Thrones first, because Clash of Kings I believe is the second book in the series, and I'm like
mm,
really dying to read it. But yeah, I'm not gonna open this up until I get excuse me, until I get a Game of Thrones. They have all the other books right now, but they don't have a Game of Thrones. That's crazy. It's funny
that,
how you go shopping for something and they have everything else, but not the first thing. That's like
yeah,
going
that's
to buy the Star Wars prequels, but they don't have the Phantom Menace. They have they have Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, but they don't have Phantom Menace. Like if it, of course, that's if anybody want to buy Phantom Menace, but still, that you get my dilemma here.
yeah, yeah. I understand. But yeah, I
Is what I'm
recently
saying. You
purchased.
get my dilemma.
Yeah, yeah. Three books on Finnish mythology. I should. I've been planning to read them so I can do another stream at some point and really get into the Finnish mythology all proper like. And uh, on the foreign end, well, I used to like English and American shows quite a lot, but as we've all been complaining, they haven't quite captured our interests, to put it politely. And as for but Japan, as far as I can remember from my youth, even has produced movies and shows I've quite liked, and there's an unusual high amount of Finnish characters in Japanese shows. Uh, Girls of Girls und Panzer, of course, had Finnish characters. Strike Witches. Little Witch Academia has a main character being Finnish, Lotte Jansson, which I suspect is who I suspect is named after the Lotta organization from World War II, and Tove Jansson, creator of Moomin, who also got the Moomins also got a Japanese animated show, and there are dozens more.
Does what? I will say this. I don't mean to interrupt. The Japanese does what Americans don't. They don't branch out and explore other stories, or they don't branch out enough to actually try to explore stories that people has not really heard of. And for what you've been sharing so far, Joni, for what you've been sharing so far, I would love to. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. At this point, I don't really want to see the American's perspective on telling these stories that you're telling me, like the White Death. I don't think they will ever tell that story. We would not be able to tell that story, right? I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah,
there's
I
no way.
That.
I think the only thing we got close to anything telling a good sniper story was Enemy at the Gates. Really, American Sniper, that one's on a hotbed there, because a lot from what I heard, the guy who wrote that biography, they say he did a bit of an embellishment there. But yeah, like I said, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Continue what you're saying, Joni.
Now that you mention it, there is a good, actually, two Finnish-made movies on the Second World War. Tuntematon sotilas, Unknown Soldier. I prefer the old black and white one. It's based on a book by. Oh wait, I should have it here. I'm so bad with names. Out of there. No, wait, I don't have it right in front of me. So, Samuli, can you do you remember the name of who wrote Tuntematon sotilas? And but yeah, Japan treats us very well. In fact, there's this funny story. You know that huge island between Finland and Sweden, Åland, Ahvenanmaa? The League of Nations voted on who should have it, Sweden or Finland, and
Samuel helped you out there.
Väinö Linna, yes. Thank you, Samuli. Kiitos.
Let me try it. Let me get my take on it. Do it again.
Väinö Linna.
Do it one more time.
Väinö Linna.
You know what? Väinö Linna.
Pretty good. The and Väinö. Yeah.
Väinö Linna.
We'll get there.
A for effort.
Yeah.
B for effort.
Finnish has this. Finnish has this.
Actually, yeah.
A combination thing that's apparently really hard for foreigners to pronounce. I'll write down a word that's.
I'm gonna say this. Samuel is being very fair with me right now. With me pronouncing these trying to do the accent and pronouncing these words. Actually, we can, if you want to rest your voice a bit. We're basically in the 50 mark, so we can read some comments real quick.
Oh yeah, sure.
if you want to do that.
Yeah.
Um, so let's start from the bottom. Now we start from the bottom. Start from the top. Now we're here. Start from the top. Now the whole team here. Start from the top. Now we're here, and we're here. Where do I even begin? Oh, we're not at the top actually. Start from the top. Now we're here. Start from the top. Now the whole team here. I think Dan Heron just dipped out earlier, but thank you for being here, Daniel Heron. If you catch this in the back watch. Oh, let's go with Sam Proctor with this comment. He says, "Foreigner means foreign to a country. In other words, water is wet." That's funny. Brian Gilmore says, "If I went anywhere outside the U.S., I would be considered a foreigner." Basically, so everybody's basically just summing up the foreigner thing. Sam Proctor with my government joke. He says, "Pretty solid theory there." with your connection. I think they're trying to silence your connection, dude. They're on to you. Better watch out. Everybody congratulating me about the pronunciation. I don't know when this what part of your discussion was, but he says the more you know. G.I. Joe. Of course, they were telling me about the log cabin. Brian Gilmore. I love this comment right here from Brian Gilmore. He says, "It's a log. It's big. It's heavy. It's wood. It's log. It's better than bad. It's good." I don't know what that means in context, but I tried. Of course, he's also saying there's some interesting history. You see why I do this. You see, guys, why I do this for you guys. This is what the WCR is all about. It's all about sharing culture. Anybody's welcome. Anybody's welcome to share their culture with us. This is why I do this. I try to build bridges for all of us. American, Finnish, possibly African. In the case of the two gentlemen that showed up in the fun stream, the two British gentlemen, I forgot their names, sadly. Apologies on that one. That's what I'm trying to do here, guys. You guys know that. Same thing with Matthew Flynn when he showed up talking Transformers, which he's a very dedicated Transformers fan. You saw that. Hopefully you saw that in the back. You can catch that in the backwatch, of course, Joni. But that's the whole point of this. This is what I want to do is share culture.
See, we were at Brian Gilmartin's log.
Brian Gilmore.
Some history.
He's Brian Gilmore says, "Wolfie's right. That is some John Wick level stuff right there." Talking about the White Death. I was saying like the more you're describing the legends. Well, I'm saying legends, but pretty sure those are not legends. I mean, the stuff that he did made him legend throughout the history. But jeez, like the way how you describe how he did these things, I'm like, yeah, like, bruh, if they were inspired by this legend and wrote John Wick, I'm like, man, somebody pulling something and they doing a good job doing it. But like, yeah, and same project also adds James Bond is heavily inspired by a real British spy in World War II. That is true.
Yeah, this reminds me. Christopher Lee actually had, I suppose, a friendship with the author of James Bond.
I believe his name was. I'm trying to remember his name. I'm pretty sure somebody will put it in the comments at the very bottom. But if I recall correctly, I think his last name is Flynn. Excuse me. Errol Flynn, I think.
No, that's an actor. I will get to it.
You're right.
We can continue.
I'm sure.
But Christopher Lee actually tried volunteering for Finland, but we didn't let him fight. And I'm not sure. I'm just joking it to myself. But during the filming of The Lord of the Rings, movies when the director again my name is blanking, but
Peter Jackson.
he what
You talking about Peter Jackson,
Peter Jackson, yeah. Uh,
the director of Lord of the
uh,
Rings.
yeah, uh, Peter Jackson tried explaining to Christopher Lee how to sound when he's stabbed in the back, and Christopher Lee was, that is not how people sound when they are stabbed. And he did. I haven't heard it in a while, but Peter Jackson said he had this feeling of he should not ask more, and well, he was. I can't remember if Christopher Lee actually visited Finland, but he did work as a spy during World War II, and who's to say, maybe he stabbed a German fellow here in Finland so that he would get that first-hand knowledge.
Yeah, he mentioned that when somebody is stabbed, there was a gasp.
Yeah,
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 like you're shocked or surprised.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we pretty much seen that in so many films years ago before even then. It's like yeah, you get the typical person that screams, but like I'll use the Crow for example. When Eric Draven gets stabbed by Top Dollar. Have you seen the Crow?
Years ago.
There's a scene where Top Dollar takes basically a katana that stabs him. You see Eric Draven just do this long gasp. You know,
Mm,
like he was so surprised. Yeah, I'm using that example because that's basically what Christopher Lee, rest his soul, is describing basically.
mm,
And boy, do not want to get stabbed one of these days. I wouldn't, let
mm,
alone shot. I wouldn't even know how I react to being stabbed, like literally stabbed, not like poked by a nail or accidentally poke myself with a knife, like literally getting stabbed by an assailant,
mm.
to say at least. I'm sure you don't want that either. None of us do. Uh, Brian Gilmartin on my Arnold Schwarzenegger imitation. Yeah! Be ready for those next time because he'll throw in some voice lines for me to try out because that's my usual stick too. I try to do some imitations here, and you've been here for that before, I'm sure.
Mm.
And again, thank you, Sammy Lee, for for subbing. Welcome to the UN Spacey Wolf Fleet. Anybody who subscribes to the Wolf Commander, you are now part of the Wolf Fleet. Because I know you guys know my wingman. We're basically the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron, but now you're a part. Once you subscribe, you are now an honorary member of the UN Spacey Wolf Fleet. Now, be good, guys. Come on, we are servants of justice. We're not mercenaries now. We're soldiers. We fight with honor now. So guys, be try to be on your best behavior because I don't want you guys to misrepresent the Wolf Fleet now. Dread 2012 Death says going from sound like you're finished to like you're finishing. I need more context there, Samuel Lee. Oh, I'm getting better at it. I heard all the jokes. He also compliments you. He says, "Good thing Joni has the language knowledge out of my friend group. I sure don't. Do not." And I would love for you to join me one of these days to talk about Robert E. Howard and Lovecraft. I'm gonna power through and get back into to your sorry, I'm losing myself right now. I'm getting a little hungry here. Yeah, we'll be continuing, Joni. Don't worry. I'm trying to plow through these.
Oh no, that's
Yeah,
okay. It's okay.
let's get into the Vikings comments. And Samuel Oki says, I agree totally. Alistan and Ragnar both being gone really took the series downhill. Now here's one thing I asked. This is one thing. This is the comment that actually piqued my interest. This is one thing I want to say. This is the first show I ever came across that never went downhill because bad writing, to say the least. Not really necessarily bad writing or bad character writing. You can disagree with me if you want, or you can throw your 2 cents in, Joni, if you like. But this is the first time I've actually seen a show that actually kind of where people say that it lost it's losing its luster because a certain character was removed from the series, and
Mm.
we've had that back then. We've all had this moment back then when you remove a certain character from a show and start losing its entertainment value. But that's only because certain characters were quote unquote put on a bus, never to be seen
Mm.
again or never be heard again, or certain characters would die off. But everybody was so invested in such a character that it was never seen, and that was rare. This it's a rare thing to happen these days because we all know
Yeah.
what's starting to ruin shows more is when they start injecting the woke, when they start making characters act differently or at least out of character from what we know. That's a feat that Vikings have achieved. Now I'm still trying to adjust with the Suns with Bjorn and oh I'm
Ivar the Boneless, and can't remember the other ones.
Ivard
The
Sigrid.
Boneless. Ah,
The yeah,
Sigurd.
I
Yes,
heard the
Sigurd, snake in the eye.
yeah,
Sigurd.
Sigurd. Sigurd.
Sigurd.
Sigurd.
Yeah,
I'm a little dry in the mouth to
me
really
as well.
pronounce.
I'm trying to sip on a bit of water every once in a while.
I'm staying away by using monster.
I know that feel.
And I think the other one is Ivard.
Yes, Ivar or Ivar the Boneless.
Evil, yeah. What we are no, the one he murdered outright. His name
I
was
Sigurd. Sigurd got the accent there.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. But there's another one too. He's the I think he's the well no, Ivar is the youngest, right?
yeah. Ivar is the youngest of
Ivar's the
Ragnar's
youngest.
sons. Yeah,
Obviously the oldest is Bjorn.
yeah, and I can't remember that. Uh, he's almost forgettable, but I can't remember his name by
Yeah.
any.
Well, when in doubt, wiki it or
Hmm.
IMDb. I'd rather go IMDb anyways, because
Hmm.
well, and no, actually, no, you know what? Screw it. Let's go with Wikipedia because Wikipedia gives us a whole list. Me, if I go with IMDb, you gotta cycle through a whole lot of cast members before you get to where you need to go,
Hmm.
and I ain't about to be doing that right now. So, ooh, it started in 2013. That was a good year.
Yep.
That was such a good year. I can barely even remember what happened in that year.
Yeah. I'll do some comments. Brian Gilmartin. Oh, I remember doing a report on Viking history when he was in school. Oh, that's cool, Brian. Uh, Samuli agrees with Adelstan and Ragnar's passings really took the show downhill. And
Yeah,
yeah, and Red,
I heard we lost
uh,
Legatha too.
last two.
I was saying I think I heard we also lost Agatha, Ube,
Oh yeah, Ubbe.
the
Yeah, Ubbe.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Uh,
Bjorn, Ivar, Sigurd, and Ube,
hmm.
which they did good for their first oh my goodness, raid their first raid.
Oh right, yeah, yeah.
I also like how they argued with each other, how what they were doing, what they were going to do to the king.
Mm.
Dang it, let me go back. Let me go back to Wikipedia because we're gonna figure out his name too, because he was everybody's favorite antagonist.
Oh yeah. I'll continue with the comments. Dread
Go ahead.
2012 death. It got a Ragnarok on the ratings. That's pretty good.
Egbert,
And then he
I think
follows
his
up with
name was.
Dread. Oh, yeah, the king. Continue, Wolf.
Oh yeah, yeah. Egbert was the king. You know who I hated the most though? I think you know.
Uh, that one English princess. Is that who you had the most?
No, are you
Oh,
talking about that crazy
crazy,
broad?
yeah.
No, no, I loved her. I was mad. I was sad when she died.
Oh, yeah, it was a tragedy. But who did you hate the most?
Ragnar's second wife.
Oh, yeah.
I think of his name was Aslug. I think I could be wrong.
Yeah, the granddaughter of
Well, oh, that's
Sigurd
nice.
Fafnirsbane. Hmm?
Oh no, okay, okay. No, no, I'm looking. They have somehow they managed to put the faces to the names of the characters on Wikipedia.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll look up that broad later. She got on my nerves,
Yeah.
and here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right now. I'm use I'm wholeheartedly against violence on women, especially spousal abuse. Right
Hmm.
now y'all gonna look at me sideways, and y'all have every right to do it. But I celebrate when he slapped her when she asked him about Ethelston. I was like, yes, thank you, Ragnar. Shut that broad up. There's another five letter word I want to say, but I want to keep it censored a bit, you know.
Hmm. Getting spicy in here.
But yeah, I was like, yes, thank you. Shut that broad up. Cause throughout that whole season, she was just opening her mouth for. She kept opening her mouth in the worst opportune moments.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, one, you have done nothing to contribute to this marriage. You have done nothing to make sure your children are safe. You even let your children die. Well, somebody died under your watch of the children because you wanted to lay in bed with a one of the Norse gods, I guess. I'm like,
Yeah.
you need to stop. You have no.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness, I'm so like she got away with a lot of things, but like that slap was like finally somebody at least put her in place. I'm like I said, I'm not a strong advocate of that's the you know it should never come to that, right? But
Yeah.
dang it,
Like I
in
said
my moment
about
of weakness, that felt satisfying.
like I said about Magneto, I do not condone, but I understand. I suppose
Hmm.
it's not
Or
quite applicable here, but the sentiment is somewhat in the neighborhood.
or at least in case of Robert Baratheon in Game of Thrones when he slaps Cersei. And she's like, "Shall I wear it like a badge of honor? Wear it in silence before I honor you more."
Oh, that's a good line.
I'm like,
Uh,
bruh, you know what? In any situation, I would frown upon you, but at that point, I'm like, you know, as much as that is excessive, it was right for the time, and even if I will give Robert Baratheon this, he admit what he did was wrong in that moment in front of Ned. You know,
mm,
he admits that he's like I shouldn't have hit her like that. and you could see it in his face how much you know there's some history there that he tried to make that marriage work. He's not
Mm,
perfect, but we're not talking about Game of Thrones here. We're still on Vikings a bit.
yeah.
Did you did you oh man, I was I'm worried about if I ever do continue Vikings. I'm worried they might make Legatha a lesbian in the
Alagesta. Oh dear.
because
How do I tell you? Maybe not
let
like
me
lesbian, but she is very much with a lady at one point.
yeah, would it be Astrid?
I think that was her name.
Because I know she has a trusted bodyguard with her with her being the queen of her troop. I don't know what to really call a Viking group, but I'll settle with that for now. But I'm like I'm like y'all getting a bit too close. Oh, well, at least Astrid is getting far too close to you. I don't know, Legatha. Riders, what are you doing with Legatha? Don't. Mm-mm. I'm not that well versed in Viking history, but I doubt that they even allowed that in their with their practices and religion.
Yeah,
I doubt.
uh, at least for males, it was they were male homosexuals were called was it argi, uh, uh, and they were thrown into bogs, swamps, marshes, and I don't know about ladies were treated, but I don't think it was that much better.
No, no. I'm like, yeah, you're trying to be a bit. See, here's the thing: the Vikings were very progressive already. You didn't need to tack that on. You
Yeah,
really didn't.
yeah. Now that I mention it, they were surprisingly forward thinking for the time. And women could, in fact, divorce their husbands pretty easily if they were
Mhm.
violent and such.
They could kill their husbands too, and not receive repercussions, so long as they have a case.
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh,
Oh yeah, Samurai says, I wholeheartedly welcome an alliance between us and our Japanese brethren.
mm,
I'm, bruh, I will say this: if we in Japan really secure a proper alliance that's founded upon traditionalism and nationalism, I'm all for it at this point.
mm,
And like let's stifle these social progressives at
yeah.
at
Oh,
this
uh,
foothold that they at. Go ahead.
I, I I should mention uh, some 2% of Japanese men are of the N1C haplogroup. So a small number of Japanese men and a large number of Finnish men are very distant relations. And there is uh, well, most people don't, or linguists don't like the Ural-Altaic supergroup hypothesis, but according to the hypothesis, Finnish languages uh, and Altaic languages, which would be Mongolian and related languages, and also Japanese and Korean, are basically distant relatives of each other. But as I said, most linguists do not like this theory. But and there are also a few other interesting similarities, like Finnish. If you ask a question, it usually ends in ko or ke, onko tämä, tämäkö, and in Japanese it's ka, deska.
Hmm.
And there are
By the way, Samuel Proctor gave us the name of the author of James Bond, Ian Fleming. I was
yeah,
off. Um,
I remember it was something, but I couldn't remember it. Thank you, Samuel Proctor.
Let me address Samuel Lee real quick because he offered to come on sometime. There is, I will say this with the slots thing I'm working with the slot system. I am actually making some adjustments as well. So you could also share a slot with someone. It's usually a Thursday because we're still doing we're in the precipice of ending the X-Men talk. So hopefully by then I'll probably have Tuesday reopen and also Thursday reopen. So just if you know me through Twitter
Uh,
or MeWe,
uh,
was you're gonna say something, Joni?
yeah, I hope you don't mind, Samuli, but Samuli is also on MeWe,
Okay.
so
Yeah, you can contact me on MeWe if any topic you want to talk about. So yeah, Thursday is still open. I haven't set up a StreamYard for that one yet. So hope somebody might contact me. But yeah, like I said, um, it could be a three-way thing. So I can have three people, talk about things and share things and bounce off things. You know, this is a group. This is a whole culture group, and that's what it's all about. You know. So yeah, contact me through MeWe definitely. I check periodically, daily, to see if anybody contact me. Um, MeWe is the same name with 10 Media. You can find me in the Professor Geek group because I posted the stream on Professor Geek. You can find me there definitely. Oh my goodness, you guys really spiked up the comments. Let's continue your talk, Joni, and we'll read some more later on. We're in the hour mark, so continue what you're discussing.
yeah, I was talking about yeah, uh, anime, manga. Uh, uh, these are pretty popular here in Finland, and it's not only because they have unusually large amounts of Finnish characters, but because they're usually well drawn, well written, well animated, and most people of my generation like them, and same thing I guess would go for younger people as well.
You're telling
And
me you're telling me that they have no problem with the Japanese drawing Finnish people at all because they do it in such a good way.
yeah,
So
in
you
fact,
you, you find no stereotypes whatsoever in design wise or anything wise, right?
no, and in fact, we everybody cheers when they hear that Japanese animation has Finnish characters, even if there's even a hint of stereotyping, like uh, Gundam Build Fighters has a Finnish character. What was her name? Aila Jyrkiäinen. I'll write it in the chat because
I'll take
it's
your word for it because I haven't seen Bill Fires yet.
yeah. She's basically she's uh, mentioned as this the Gundam witch or something along those lines, and
The
like
Gundam
a
Witch.
Finnish witch, I'll take it. Same thing with Lotte Jansson, a witch, I'll take it. I,
Hey, I
being a
was the black
sorcerer,
guy. I was the black guy who saw the Gundam pilot from Africa in G Gundam, and I had no problem with that
mm,
whatsoever. Like the design of it was spot on what an African would be, or at least what nationality because Africans are not really monolithic, just like the black folk perspective is not monolithic. There are
yeah,
several different cultures of Africans from
yeah,
different
yeah,
tribes,
yeah.
and the
It's like
one
saying
it,
all Europeans are one people. That's not true. That's not even
no,
true
you're
if
not a
you just take,
monolith.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother. Okay, it sort of bothers me when they say all Europeans or all Africans or all Asians, but people are lazy. It's sort of
Hmm.
understandable. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing. Lazy it's more than just lazy. They're generalizing. They, they
mm,
they they speak in general. They want to speak in general. That's why they say all black folk or all Mexicans. I'm like,
mm,
excuse you. Don't let me in with them gangbangers. Don't you dare.
mm,
Especially when they speak on the when they do finally decide to speak on the crime at their convenience. I'm like, you better not let me in with them gangsters. Them folk gangsters. You better watch your step there, buddy. Cause I ain't the one. That's not to say that's not to say I get mad when I see a black thug as a criminal in a show or a movie. Reason because that is true. There is a lot of
mm,
crime perpetuated by black folk. That is the truth. I'm sorry. It's the truth that it's the truth that the black community does not want to hear.
mm,
They really don't. They choose to be ignorant about it. And that's not to say all the majority of black folk that live in denial of that are the majority choosing to ignore it. There's another majority out there, the silent majority as we like to label it, knows that black on black crime is real and crime is perpetuated mostly by black folk. We make up the majority of the crimes. We also mention that the most the cops will outright shoot and gun down are white folk more so than black folk. So there's your myth of racist cops shattered right there, spoken by a black dude. I got pulled over by the cops a few times. I never got shot at or shot up. You know what I'm saying? Or at
mm,
least if the cops ever approached me, it's because I did something wrong. There were times I would do a misdemeanor, like like uh like ride the train without a pass, and that's my fault, not theirs.
mm.
You feel me?
Yeah, oh, yeah. That which
But
that's
that's
sort of
that's
mm,
sorry. Go ahead.
uh, uh, at least in Finland. At least it used to be that you could buy a ticket in the train, but it would be more expensive. You guys don't have that.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Uh, Back in the day, you could buy a train ticket inside the train, but it would be more expensive. Doesn't that apply in America?
No, we
Huh.
do not have that. Actually, that would be quite convenient if you ask me.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
there have been many times I reached the train ticket machine and the train already here, and I'm like, you know how long this takes for this thing to get processed,
Mm,
and by the time you get the train then already left, you gotta wait for the next train. But that's actually practical if you ask me.
yeah.
I wonder if it's like that in Japan.
Hmm. Haven't
And
looked
them
that
and them.
up.
Johnny's like, that sounds interesting. Let me look that up. Never thought of that, did you? Never thought of that myself
No.
until you mentioned it.
Yeah. I mean, um, this is like I suppose this is a common psychological thing that you kind of assume that things work elsewhere, like how it works at your place.
Right.
That I suppose it's just a universal part of the human way of thinking that everywhere else is kind of like here, but everywhere else is always different. But you
Well,
never think about it.
I bring it up because I think the most used transportation is the trains, the monorail system.
Oh yeah,
I hear that in Japan they don't really drive cars that much. At least
I've gotten the same impression myself.
I think a coworker of mine who lived and was born and raised in Japan told us that a few times that like they don't drive cars that much there. That's why in anime you hardly ever see cars driving in the streets that much.
Mm,
Well, maybe do because they don't really drive cars that much in Japan. I guess there's I could have sworn there was a reason why, and I think he explained it to us, and I literally forgot. But that's been a long time. I'll do my research
Yeah,
sometime when I'm not lazy. But yeah, let me
yeah,
scroll down. Oh, there's a lot of comments I want to sink my teeth into.
mm.
Go ahead, Joni. Continue what you're saying,
Uh,
or at least
I
what you
kind
want
of
to.
lost my track, but hey, this would be a good opportunity to have that webcomic page. Uh,
You know what?
uh,
You're right. You are absolutely right. Let's start doing that right now. Quick
yeah.
question. Is this a comic that you made, or is this a comic that you found and it's been reading for some time now?
Oh, this is a comic I found. I've been reading it for a few years now, and it's made by a Finnish author, Minna Sundberg. That's a Swedish name, but uh, I should mention that there's a minority here in Finland, which I am technically a part of, called the
Okay.
Suomenruotsalainen. It's Suomenruotsalainen is the Finnish term, and basically means Finland's Swede. We are the Swedish-speaking minority. There's around we're about the 5% of the population, and in a way we are a cause of large amounts of trouble, which is listening to Sweden. I suppose if there weren't as many of us, we wouldn't listen to Sweden as much, and we would have less problems caused by trying to copy Swedish culture. This might
It
sound
all came
harsh,
from
but it is
somewhere.
true. Uh, in fact, there's this uh, person I follow or whose blog I read. She's a lady who likes other ladies and using whips and chains on said ladies. Tragic
Mm.
backstory caused that, but not my story to tell. And she said, uh, Sweden is a negative cultural influence on Finland. And if I had lots of money, I'd pay all her debts just because of that comment. She's a pretty cool lady. But uh, yeah, good. I'll go to this
Okay.
comic is called Stand Still, Stay Silent. It's a post-apocalyptic comic. It's basically a zombie story, but because of cultural differences between the Nordic nations and America, it takes a very different route, say from Walking Dead or any other American story. That's in that there's more
By the way,
cooperation.
apologies for the sorry, apologies to everyone and you too, Johnny, for the noise outside my house. Neighbors.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know where the sound is coming from.
Oh, oh, yeah. Oh. Apologies for earlier. This Whips and Chains lady, she's Canadian. Minna Sundberg is Finnish. Just to clear up, they're two different people. My bad.
Why'd you
But
call
yeah,
what again? You call her Whips and Chains Lady.
yeah. Uh,
Is that her nickname or is that the nickname
uh,
you assigned to her?
a nickname assigned to her. Most people call her Spidey Senpai, the Whips and Chains lady. Uh,
Mm.
she was a pretty big uh, blogger during Gamergate. Spidey Senpai, that is.
Oh.
Uh, I should, but going back to Minna Sundberg's Stand Still, Stay Silent. This is a, a spell or prayer in the Kalevala meter, uh, and uh, basically in the comic, the old heathen religions have come back, and this is one of the main characters, Lalli, based on a villain or folk hero, depending on your perspective, from Finnish culture. And he's basically praying for safety from all these trolls. And well, I should start reading it. Kuutar kallis, taivon tytär, kuule kutsu kuuliaisen, vai kerroksen vaivalloisen, hädän huuto muilta mailta, kaukaa kotohankkahilta. Hopeinen hohto heitä, viereen valo valkiainen, ettei surma suohon syökse, jottei hiisi hautaan hae. Jääkön surut surematta, tuonentuvat tuntematta. Huh. People say that Finns when they speak Elvish. I'd like to hear people's opinions on that after that reading.
uh, do you have it? Did you want me to continue so that we can read it together,
Uh,
or did you just want to read that passage in the first
I just
page?
uh,
Just that prayer alone. I mean,
just that prayer alone.
okay.
I hope people will start reading it by themselves, and it's a pretty good
Actually,
webcomic. There's lots of information about Scandinavian and Finnish mythology and culture, even bits of languages. There's this one, Minna Sundberg mentions this one uh, funny thing about voi voi, nyt sataa, which can be mistranslated as butter butter, now it hundreds. Because voi is both the word for butter and basically this oh no sound. And sata is basically either 100, like monta sataa, many hundreds, or nyt sataa, now it rains.
Sorry, lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, it has happened to me quite a while, many times as well, so it's understandable.
Senator Proctor says, I usually don't like modern digital comic styles, but that looks good to me. Yeah, I like the art. I really like the art work. I might start reading this actually probably tonight or probably tomorrow, because I'm still reading Berserk, and
Yeah.
I'm is that your cat?
Oh yeah, I have a cat. She wants food. I have fed her many times. There's in fact still food on her plate, but she won't eat it.
She's being picky.
Yeah. I'll put the mute on a second and give her some food. Be back in
Okay.
a second.
Yeah. So while he's doing that, I'll read your comments a bit, cause yeah. Okay. Yeah, just so you know, Samuel, I'm willing to bring you on as well. Whatever topic that you want to talk about. That goes for everybody. And seems like you found me. And you did. All right, found you. You are at it. Hoo-ha.
Yeah. For some reason, when I'm talking on streams, I get really amped up. And when I talk really much, I stop breathing.
we know.
Yeah.
We know. That'd be like breathe, Joni, breathe. Or like you're talking like I'm like Joni, yeah, breathe, Joni. I will say this, Joni, you are quite the personality that I do definitely enjoy being around. Definitely. Um,
Thank you.
from our exchange right now, I'd buy you a drink
Thank
if I
you.
would if I was still drinking. Of course, I'm on sobriety, which I know I said that in Troy's stream that one night, but I'm like, as much as I'm playing that up, I really wouldn't count myself as a complete alcoholic that much because I barely drunk enough to really go off the complete deep end, or at least like to a point where I can't function without a drink, you know.
Mm.
And there she go again. I hear her in the background.
Yeah, she wants outside.
Oh
Give
my
it
goodness!
10 seconds and she wants inside.
And this is why I'm a dog person.
Mm.
Dogs are dogs are sure about what they want. Just saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, yeah, we had a dog at,
You just got
but she passed away a few years ago. Tumor.
my condolences. Same
Mm,
thing.
yeah,
My dog passed away like I'm gonna guess 6 years ago. She had disappeared for a while, and then my wife found her, and yeah, that was a
yeah.
blow for the both of us because she really loved that dog.
Mm,
She's a rascal sometimes, and she would lay at our feet sometimes, or like she'll try to. Our first night being together before we wedded, she tried to leap up onto our bed. I I instantly shoved her away, but I also petted her to make sure she was, you know, I wasn't mad. I was like you gotta stay here. This is not like what we used to be when it's just me and you. You can't jump.
mm,
She almost jumped where our heads were too, you know.
yeah,
But that was a fond memory. I'm just like, memorizing right now, reminiscing actually. Uh, get to the comments real quick. Samuel, there I go. Samuel says, as many movie credits as Lee has, he has nothing on Danny Trejo. Lots of bit roles, of course. Yeah, Danny Trejo is all over the place, all over the place. And to set a number, he says Lee has 282. Trejo has 399. That man's on a roll.
mm,
Dread Death, sorry. Dread 2012 Death says better to have the characters just leave after you got attached, then get attached, and then they suddenly become insane from random propaganda inserted. Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Joni.
mm,
So we did talk about Legatha potentially having bisexual tendencies, right?
yep.
Did she start blaming men for everything?
No, actually, no.
So
If she
she's
blamed,
still
yeah,
she's
she's
still
still there.
Legatha.
Yeah, still Agatha, same cool lady she was. Uh,
Cool
if she blamed any
cool
man, it was
grandmother.
that one man and not all men. So
Yeah, I'm saying she's cool grandma
yeah, yeah,
because she likes schooling people on how to fight properly and how to bed a man and all that stuff. She teach
yep.
those little girls. She be teaching them. Sam Proctor says is Bjorn Longberg Finnish,
Yeah.
and he
Follows
also
up with, yeah, he
he followed
followed
up.
up with the
Just
Danish
looked it
fellow.
up. He's Danish. Yep. Ooh, speaking of Vikings, did you ever watch this one show on Netflix called mm,
Was it
what
Last
is it
Kingdom or
called?
something like that?
Yes, Last Kingdom.
Uh, I've been meaning to watch it. I suppose I should like restart or like start watching it while I wait for the.
Yeah.
Have you
It's
seen it?
no Vikings, but it was interesting. It's an
Hmm,
interesting watch. I like it. I actually like it. Um, it does have a bit of dark dark spells in it, like sexual assault in it. So
hmm.
just warn you there.
Well,
But
that was in Vikings as well. So
yeah,
uh,
of course. I'm just saying if you're I'm just warning everybody who's uncomfortable watch because I'll even admit I'm very uncomfortable when I watch a rape scene, no matter what gender it is,
mm,
no matter
yeah.
what gender it is, even age, no matter what age it is, I get very uncomfortable watching that. As you should, of course, as you should.
Mm,
If you're not
mm,
uncomfortable, then I think you need to seek some help, or rather, don't come over my house, or don't come anywhere near my nieces and
mm.
nephews if you don't find that uncomfortable to watch. Is what I'm saying. Yeah, bruh, I'm surprised I was able to get through Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the remake.
Oh, yeah, the American version. Yeah. Uh, I
Yeah,
haven't watched those movies either in Swedish or the English version. Uh,
only the
it sounded a bit too much like journalist this, journalist that, and feminism this, feminism that, and I just wasn't interested.
right. It's basically what feminists were writing back then before they took a different writing approach nowadays. Whereas
Mm,
uh apparently a woman's trial by fire to be a very strong female protagonist is for them to get raped and get their
yeah, it's weird.
revenge. Yeah, that was the type of writing back then, and then now they removed that trend and start having them just taking on dudes left and right with no fit with, and mind you, they put these type of girls that are like little girls, mind you, little girls, teenage girls. And I'm like, they're showing up the dudes, they're showing up to their superiors who are older than them and more wiser than more experienced than them. And I'm like, you are setting any girl who read this book and take this book as word is you're setting her up for failure in the real world. Because that's not how
Mm,
that works.
yeah,
That is
as
not
much as I
as
mm,
go ahead.
as much as I think that the line between fiction and reality is a wall made out of steel, stone, and iron. There is a thing to be said of trying to at least uh, portray reality as it is.
Samuel Lee says any kind of mention of
It's,
fins is treated with joy in general.
yeah.
Black people, you know, we used to blacks used to be like that way back then. Believe it or not, any black character that shows up, we were happy. It didn't matter what kind of role they were playing. It's just the fact that if it was a famous black actor, we were all for it. And these days now, not so much. Well, we still
Mm,
got that generation that does like any black character that shows up, but like now they have a new mold for them, and I'm like, I hope my mom doesn't get too adjusted or too acclimated to that because she was born in 50s
ah,
and she's getting very acclimated to this way of thinking by other blacks, and I'm like, mom. There are times I want to stop my mom from talking that rhetoric. Like, mom, you were born in the 50s. What we're experiencing today ain't nothing compared to what you're experiencing back then. We're in a better situation than we ever been in than what you experienced. And for you to take that rhetoric in, that's uncalled for. You, if anything, you should be telling all of us like you ain't got like what you experienced is nothing compared to what we experienced back in the 50s. She was born.
Mm,
She was born in 18. Not 18. 1950. I believe. Because I looked up her birthday. I was like, Mom, you, or was it? Oh no, I could be getting that wrong. 74 maybe or 75. But any point still stands. She's old school, very old school,
mm,
is what I'm saying. So she should know better. I'm speaking as her son. She should know better, is what I'm saying. She should know better than any of us blacks. Brian Gilmore, speaking of blacks, he says Brian Gilmore, blacks in Africa, blacks in America, they're very different. Yeah, I will even say this: Africans don't really claim us whatsoever. They'll welcome us to the motherland, but they don't claim us. Even then, there's some Africans that will really put us in slave caste positions because there's still slavery in Africa. Believe it or not,
mm.
there is.
Yeah, I've read about it. And one part that's really bad is that Libya has open air slave markets nowadays. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Where is that located?
North Africa, right, right next to Egypt, if I remember correctly.
Yep. Why you think most West Africans are white? And hints on the West, or was it South African? I think South African, right?
South Africa was the colony with the most European population, if I remember correctly. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
South Africa.
yeah. They don't want to go anywhere near North Africa. I think North. I'm 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 I'm, I'm assuming. Let me lay that out right now. I'm assuming North African is a bit extreme, like the extreme is Middle Eastern sex, right?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. North Africa has very high amounts of uh, Arab and similar populations living there.
Hmm.
Berbers look, at least the ones I met, look a bit like Arabs, but they're Berbers are closer to Europeans, if I've gotten my research correctly.
Hmm.
Out
Sarah
there,
Proctor says, "Go ahead. Could finish what you're
uh,
saying."
yeah, yeah. Uh, but there are black Berbers. It's kind of a culture and people being sort of two different things again. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, Sarah Proctor says all Europeans are the same. Try explaining the English and the French. Oh my god. He's, he said add if to the beginning. Well, he's saying if Europeans are the same, try. Okay, he's saying if Europeans are the same, try explain the English and the French. I get you now. I get the context, Samuel. Brian Gamara says, I would tell the social progressives, check yourself before you wreck yourself with regards to how they generalize women and minorities. That's another thing that pisses me off when they try to separate the gender from the race.
Mm,
They try to put women as a subcategory of minority, but we have a lot of women that are of different ethnicities. So why would
yeah,
you separate the gender from the race?
yeah, yeah. And and in general, women actually outnumber the men by like it's usually like men 49% and women 51% per population, like per country, with the exception of like China and India because of yeah, not fun
Yeah.
places there for women.
Mm-mm.
Uh,
So like, okay, says lots of poor fuckers getting hit with trucks in anime in recent years. Now Samuel Lee, try to hold the language a bit. I'm allowing that, but hold the language a bit. But I don't know what he means by that. I think he's mean by isekai type anime.
yeah, yeah, lots of isekai anime start with some poor
Some
person
poor
getting hit by
schmuck.
a truck. Yeah.
It's weird. It's really weird.
Uh,
Me and Match are watching Konosuba. Sanya Proctor says the individual is the ultimate minority. I would say the ultimate minority at this point, starting with and right now, is the white man. It's good. I joke, but I'm dead serious. If this ever happened, I'm gonna pull. We going It's gonna get to a point where we're gonna pull a million man march with white folk at this point, and I'll
yeah.
be there
Uh,
for it, locking elbows with them.
yeah. In fact, globally,
We're gonna do a
Europeans are
reverse
actually
civil
that.
rights movement.
Mm, and
Go ahead.
globally, Europeans are actually a minority amongst all the various peoples of the world. Like I think Europeans make only about what 10, was it 20% of humanity, and
Hmm.
Europeans with blue eyes is like just 2%. I've read somewhere. So
Hmm. Yeah, I'm like it. These people, man. These people,
mm,
their ignorance know no bounds. It's sad.
yeah,
Like I look at them and you know those memes and those gifs where people have those stank eye looks.
mm,
My face, I would not be surprised if I get facial paralysis for the many times I made those faces, hearing reading and listening to their idiocy.
mm.
If you ask me, have you ever thought that sometimes, Joni? Like there are moments where your face just crinkle up, either reading something stupid or hearing something stupid that is labeled as the science or the facts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So many people they have no they in fact have no respect for the scientific method. They know nothing of that. You're supposed to test things out, and you're supposed to test things out at various different places and locations by different people, so that the results can be double tested, triple tested, and so on, so that what you've discovered is actually true. And
but
I have a
Joni, that's too much work.
hmm,
And what is work? Boring. I want to
hmm,
play on my phone. I want to sign on to my OnlyFans. Why do I want to go through that much research? Look here. Time will change. Information will change. You have to continue to research, like Joni says, continue to research, and verify and verify. That's why it's called a hypothesis. Am I right?
hmm.
I could be wrong. I could be saying that
Yeah,
wrong.
hypothesis is how I pronounce it. Hypothesis, hypotheesi.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Well, we're ignorant Americans, so
no, no, it's just it's not word doesn't people don't usually use. And in fact, when most people say theory, they actually mean hypothesis, but it's not like a idea that's thought well enough. Even in Europe, people say theory and they mean hypothesis, but it
yeah.
just it's just the way the world is sometimes.
But it's just a theory, a game theory. Thanks for watching.
Mm.
I haven't watched this stuff in a long time. I got bored with it.
Yeah,
Too much, too much FNAF for me. I don't even.
yeah,
I'm like, bruh, I don't even play this game. Why you still on this?
mm. Yeah. I
You
stopped
had me with the
watching.
first theory. Go ahead.
Mm. Yeah, I stopped watching Game Theory as well. It got kind of repetitive.
And sometimes the theories tend to really like not they got a bit too cartoonish. They're sounding
mm,
a bit scientific ish.
mm.
I think. I will tell you my favorite episodes was the Link is dead theory, or at least a theory that a lot of people had thought of already, but he elaborated more on
Mm.
in it with his own show. Or the Mario. My favorite was this three-parter. Mario is a maniac.
Yeah, I
You ever watched
remember
that
that.
one?
That was, yeah, I watched that long time ago. It was pretty amusing, at least at the time. I should rewatch it sometime. Uh, I suppose this is a good as point as any has mentioned. I actually have some on-hand experience with the mentally ill. I actually
Hmm.
worked for a short while at well, I suppose you could call it the Finnish version of Arkham Asylum.
Hmm.
It was a uh,
Before you continue, do you feel comfortable sharing that type of information? Because yeah,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Perhaps I shouldn't add too much to that.
I mean, it's good to know that you worked with the you know,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term, the insane asylum.
Mm.
But well, you know what? Did you enjoy that job? Oh,
Uh, it was an okay job, and I was never in any real kind of danger. So
oh, okay. Good
yeah,
to know. Good to
yeah.
know. Cause I mean, you know the general type of shindig especially in media to try to portray the certain professions, and
Mm.
it's always that type of thing where we try to clear the ice. 'Cause, like I had one customer. This is not, by the way, guys. This is not the same as working on a Samsung. But you know, you guys know I work at a movie theater, of course. But there was one time a customer came up to us and said, I bet you guys get to watch all the movies." I'm like, I uncontrollably laughed, not at her, just at what she said, because the reason why the reason why I laughed, because I had that attitude when I was a customer of the movie theater, right? But
Mm.
now that I worked at it, oh no, we don't get that luxury.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard the same thing that yeah, you don't get to watch movies for free. Yeah.
Nah, nah, it's not like that, Saint Jim. Unless you're working at the unless you're working the projector, then majority
Mm.
majority of the work we do is here in the concession. That's about it.
Yeah.
And even then,
Yeah.
like,
And
and even then, the projector, they, bruh, don't believe. Well, I don't know how it is in other locations when it comes to the movie theater, but the whole scene with what's that movie called? What's that movie called? What is that movie? The one with Tyler Durden,
what's
Fight Club,
Fight
Fight
Club?
Club. Where he's in the movie theater where the projector at. I'm like, no, we just play the movie and let it go and just walk away. That's it.
Mm.
We're not there. We're not literally there monitoring the projector because it's all digital now. It's not like those classic ones where we just put the
Yeah.
reels
Yeah.
in.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day, the reels. I heard the projector was so strong it would like burn the film if it was
Hmm.
like too long in one spot.
Yep. You have to really monitor that. Um, get into some more comments real quick. Okay, everybody didn't hear no noise, but yeah, I was just making sure because my mic is really good, guys. My mic can pick up outside sounds. They can actually pick up people talking. And this is just a headset mic, by the way. It's so good. It actually picks up what I can hear. If the volume is turned up loud enough. But yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, like me and Mash sometimes if we were watching a anime that's like super loud, He's like, turn down your mic, or is it like get you a new one? I was like, one of these days I will. Uh, Samuel, Samuel Lee says just a few days till I get the Berserk Deluxe Volume 7 in my hands. I mentioned Berserk earlier, by the way.
Mm.
I was gonna say that I'm in the eve of the Falcon of the Millennium arc right now. I'm closer to the trolls section, and you are a fan of Berserk, right?
Yeah, yeah. I haven't read as far as you, but I suppose when I next time I visit Samulis, I'll be reading. Maybe not quite up to your spot, but we'll see about that.
Are you still in Golden Age, or are
No,
you past Golden
I
Age?
read. I just I read the Lost Children arc, the Iron Knights conviction arc. Was
That's
it?
Conviction. Conviction.
Yeah, and I started the arc where they're at the refugee camp around the tower, and Motsgus comes in.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
uh,
you're not that far behind.
yeah,
You're just you're in the precipice of where excuse me guys, shit gets really fucked up.
yeah, yeah. I read that one scene with the cave and all the people and the statue. Yeah, that was messed up.
hmm Did you ever get the part with the lady and the baby?
I
Yeah.
can't remember directly, and because I don't have the books in front of me, I can't check up. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember that one guy getting pushed down the ravine or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, you're past the baby part because that the you talking about Jokum
Yeah, I think
and
that. Yeah,
Nina and
yeah.
Jokum when they go to that orgy fest.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's after the baby, the
Oh,
woman and the baby. So yeah, you seen it. Uh,
yeah.
just
I
a
just
recap.
don't. Yeah, I have to like reread that section, I guess.
Yeah, just to help you out there. So you know how bad things were in that tent, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was a lady who couldn't breastfeed, and the baby needs milk. So
Mm.
the holy sea takes the woman and the baby because she's begging
Oh, yeah.
the
Not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
the lady gets tortured. Yeah.
yeah, they burn her feet, her hands, all kind of
Mm.
stuff, and the baby dies anyways, and she's carrying it like a baboon carrying a dead baby.
Ah.
That's that's the stuff that will stick with you.
Yeah. I must have blanked it out because.
Bruh, I would not
Yeah.
be, bruh. I would not I would not look at you different for blanking that out. Cause when I saw
Mm,
that, I was like, bruh. She
yeah.
gets tortured for her trouble, and her baby still dies, and
Mm,
they screwed up so bad. She still thinks the baby is still alive.
yeah. Yeah. I've heard similar tales about from war zones. Yeah, it's tragic. Oh, Trooper FN 2525 is here.
Yep.
Welcome.
I was like, so that's who the fourth person that jumped in because we were at three right now, and I believe Samuel Lee has left.
Yeah, he left like some 20 minutes ago. It's it was like 20 past midnight then, and now it's quarter to. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
or quarter to one. I mean, yeah, it's late here in Finland, but I because I have such a different sleep and work rhythm, I get to like hang out with you guys. So.
nice.
Mm.
Okay, hang on. There's some other comments I want to dig into.
Mm.
They're at the bottom now. Okay, we can start right here. Simon Proctor says, maybe whites are literally a minority, but culturally America, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like at this point, I'm starting to call them a minority now. I don't care. I don't care. They're reinventing words anyway, so I'm going to reinvent the word now at this moment. Whites are now categorized minorities among us now because they've been oppressed far too long. So yeah, you
Yeah,
heard from me,
yeah,
folks. I don't care what
yeah,
anybody say. Y'all can argue to the contrary. You want to add something to that, Johnny?
yeah. I think I checked out some statistics and like what you would call Anglos or like proper Europeans or European descended is like at like 40% right now, 40, 45, something like that. And the only way it is added up if you add in like light-skinned Hispanics, Latinos who have like partial European ancestry. Only
Mm-hmm.
then do you get even close to like 70%.
Sarah Proctor says the problem with our liberal friends isn't that they're ignorant, is that they know so much that isn't so. Yeah, that cannot be further from the truth. I think you heard me say this before, is that they try to live vicariously through other people.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah, and
especially the young ones that are raised under that. Go ahead.
yeah, and so many try to live vicariously through media, but I suppose that's only.
Hmm.
Mm, like I
You are
understand, like
so correct there, sir. It's the media that
mm,
go ahead.
continue. I was about to say that in a way I understand it. Like I haven't been, or like my family, we've been like going up and down the social ladder, you could say, and yeah, when you're like not well to do, the only way to like get away is through media. So I can understand that, but some people like they seem to live only through media,
Hmm. Whereas
which
we
is
just want to
unhealthy.
escape it. We just escape
Mm,
into that world. We don't stay in that world. Like if
mm,
I will say this, it's like I like the world of Star Fox, but I know I can't live in the world of Star Fox.
mm,
Or the whole werewolf thing that I do for this series, or for whatever product I want to put out there. That's just a product, that's I, duh, I'm not a werewolf in real life. I don't grow fur and snout and claws. I know that,
mm.
but dang it, that's how I see myself. That's not to say that's my identity. But that's basically what Troy said on Friday, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's basically how I see myself. I'm not going around demanding werewolf pronouns, or or you can't discriminate me because I'm a werewolf.
Mm.
I'm not doing that.
Oh
I'm like,
yeah,
bro,
yeah.
I'm proud of what I'm born into. I'm proud of being a black man. Okay, I
Mm,
don't have no low self esteem to ask for reparations for ancestors that suffered way more than I did when I grew up in a world of comfort.
mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I was born,
yeah,
even though
yeah.
I was living in a very impoverished neighborhood, or say a project neighborhood. That's nothing compared to what the ancestors dealt with.
Mm.
Nothing
Yeah,
compared to.
yeah. I
Go ahead.
get that. I mean, it's completely different history, but yeah, as Finns, I mean, we get attacked. People try to ban our language, but are we hateful and resentful of Swedes or Russians? Maybe a bit, but it's not like we think about it every day, all day. It's basically something that only pops up when they try to annoy us really badly. and even then it's pretty mild. Uh, Hello?
I'm still here.
Oh, uh,
Can you hear me?
that's oh yeah, I can hear you. Just when there was a sudden silence, I was just a bit confused for a second.
Oh, I was just listening to you.
Ah,
I was listening to what you were saying.
yeah, yeah, and there's been
You know,
no attempts at like
you have such
asking for.
rich history. I'm saying you
Hmm,
I'm saying you have
yeah,
such rich
thanks. Yeah,
history. I'm very interested. Go ahead.
hmm, yeah,
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
yeah, and even our like our Sami cousins, uh, brothers, sisters, they suffered in many ways. They suffered more than us Finns. Did you know that Swedes had a eugenics program that was active into the like late 1970s, and they sterilized
What?
thousands of thousands of Sami women?
What?
Yeah, Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. Also great and progressive. Goody two shoes. Sweden had a eugenics program into the 1970s.
You know, I always said this. It came from somewhere. It had to come from somewhere where they get these ideas. But the
Yeah.
thing is that no, I will say this: no country in history is perfect whatsoever.
Mm,
We have bad history everywhere. And the problem with the social progressives is that they have this narrow-minded view of the history. That's why they're advocating to remove history from school.
mm,
Do you not
yeah.
know that when you look through the history, you kind of realize that that a lot of people were worse off years ago, or for the better for it now. But yeah, it's really sad because we know where this is coming from. It's coming from that hot button word, communism.
Mm. And if I remember correctly, some of the people who started this, I think it was the mid 1800s. No, wait, 1800s. Yeah, the 1800s, 19th century. It gets a bit uh, muddled up in my brain sometimes. Who, yeah, yeah. Many of the ones who proposed this eugenics program were socialists, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Uh, Finland, as far as I know, did not implement this program in any real regard, but some Sami were mistreated uh, in the manner that the anthropologists who visited them were impolite and took artifacts that they really should not have touched.
Hmm.
And
No,
you can
because they
see
don't
similar,
know no better.
yeah,
Usually it happens because they don't know no better.
mm,
Sam Proctor says, I was in high school only a year ago. It's not cool to accept you are white in school. Was that really recent, Sam Proctor? How old are you, by the way? You don't have to disclose that if you don't want to. Uh, Brian Gamara says, I must be weird because I want my fiction to take me away from the real world, not remind me of its worst parts. I don't know what the context is. I think I got an idea,
yeah,
but
same thing here. I understand that sentiment.
Trooper FN 2525 to Sam Proctor. Well, school is not real life, man. Be 100% cool with who you are, and that's the 2/3 of the culture war. Thank you, Trooper FN. Well, of course. He says, Sam Proctor says, life is suffering. It's the default mode. That's true.
Mm,
It's what strengthens you. Sam Proctor also says 19 just graduated last year. Congratulations, by the way. Dodged bullet in terms of lockdown schools. Oh yeah, man.
Mm,
Brian Gamar says, I really hate how social progressives try to erase American history because of political correctness. Who died and made them God? That is the number one question right there.
mm,
Considering that I'm of no faith at all, I can tell you right now that sentiment I cannot stand what so freaking ever.
yeah,
That that
yeah.
that right there, I love that you point that out, Brian. By the way, when you ask who made them God, when especially when these people who claim to be atheists and want to remove God or at least try to mock God or mock any religion for that matter, and then act like they want to play deity to whomever they see so fit. Because really now it's all I like to fall back on that jealousy and that envy that they have.
Mm, yeah, so
So
many have that.
you got people who have no children think they can school your children on life skills and life progression and stuff like that. You have drama queens trying to teach you morality. You have people who pretend to be empathetic but will not be empathetic to real victims of serious crimes while at the same time protecting real criminals, if you will.
Mm,
You have the non-religious creating their own religion and trying to push that religion just like the zealots of yesteryear onto other
mm,
people. You have people again have no children advocating for the removal of parents, the words and the people who gave birth to the children,
mm,
while at the same time advocating my body, her rules, right? Why are you removing the word mother? Then, if you really care for the mother in the first place, you have people who was never born a certain race acting as if they can be racist toward, well, literally acting to be racist towards people who they say that they're championing. Examples: calling black people person of color. That's color folk, if you ask me.
yeah. I, I've been thinking of if I ever get rich and famous enough, which I suppose would be a curse in a way. Uh, let's say I was on Conan, I'd bring up that and say, wait, isn't I like person of color? Isn't that a multiple? Why aren't people just using the word colored and then watch at the audience with a certain stare and like, you know why you don't use that term?
Hmm. So what makes you
Mm,
what makes you think it's okay to call me a person of color? That's you. When I hear that, it's like these people are literally trying to re-earn the right to be racist
yeah. Uh,
while acting like they want to they want to project their insecurity of being racist towards people who are not racist, people
mm,
who know better.
yeah.
Another example: the word Latino replaced the O with an X. I'm like, excuse you, that's somebody else's language.
Mm,
Who are you in your right mind? Who are you? You who never practiced the language, mind you, but think you have the right to change that language
mm,
because my pronouns, my gender.
yeah. Oh, jumping back a bit to the uh, racism thing. I joke about
Hmm.
the Finns are forest Mongols part, but there are people who like genuinely believe that and like actually like insult Finns based upon it. But even some of those people are much more friendly and much more polite than the social progressives. Isn't that weird? That also hateful racists are
Hmm.
more friendly and accepting. What does the world come to?
It's we slept on it. That's the reason why.
Mm,
That's the reason why it got like that. We slept on it. We were doing a good job laughing these people off. Remember that we did a good
yeah.
job laughing them off and shoving them away until we got tired and we went to sleep. And that's what
Mm,
they struck. They got us where they got us while we were sleeping. That's what happened. Especially the
mm,
teachers. The teachers got us while we were sleeping. Because years ago we would have just laughed these people off and moved on, and they would not have no power whatsoever. And of course, we wouldn't even have excuse me, hired anybody with that kind of attitude in life. But nope, nada. We fell asleep.
mm,
Well, another thing, we underestimated them. We really
mm,
underestimated them, and we also got a lot of spineless cowards in the in certain spots.
mm,
Cause I can go on and on
mm.
about that. I think we're at the far bottom of the comments. Are you winding down yet?
Yeah.
Can you keep going?
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I just remembered that I was supposed to mention the Finnish, how Finnish doesn't really have pronouns, yeah, like English does. We have
yeah, go
informal,
ahead.
informal and colloquial Finnish uses the term se, uh, which is the
Set.
word, se. Give me a moment. I'll take my other phone and write it in the public chat.
Right.
It's the R word for it, like uh, se mun lempikynä, missä se on? My favorite pen, where is it? Or and it can, in a formal, colloquial use, be used for people, but it's considered slightly rude. But the only people who really complain about it are like uh, uh, like teachers and stuff. People who like have language as their uh, workplace. And the formal word is han, han,
Yeah.
and
Han.
that han, short sound, and
Han.
it's han.
Han.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
gotta
that's
learn
good.
these accents.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Oh, that was good.
it's hard.
Han.
It's hard. Hmm. Han. The N is very important.
Set.
If you just say ha, it's just like huh.
Ha ha
Yeah.
ha ha
Oh,
ha.
oh,
Han.
mm.
Did I catch
Yeah.
the end
What?
at that moment?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Han is equivalent of he or she. Han many uh, Vaasan. He went to Vaasa or she went to Vaasa. Vaasa is a pretty big town or city here in my part of the country. Uh, mm, and what else was I?
Uh,
Uh,
Before you continue,
Go ahead.
I have a question to ask. Are you familiar with RJ from the Fourth Age,
Uh,
or at least the YouTube channel, the Fourth Age?
uh, I am familiar with it. I should watch more of the stuff he produces, but I haven't got into it really. I really should. Uh, Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I know he sometimes the way how he talks can sound a bit long-winded. Yeah, if you want me to link it, I'll link it
I'm actually subscribed to him
if
already.
you like. Okay.
But
Yeah,
go
he
ahead.
he recently put out a video that had me thinking too. Just usually it's really no different than what they say about the social progressives. They eat their own basically.
Mm,
But he did a good job putting into like, even though one thing I gotta give I gotta give RJ this. It's like he acknowledges that that some people will say, yeah, you talked about this, you talk about this all the time. Like how's this any different than what you said last time? But he finds a way. He finds a way to make what he's talking about, even if it's the same, even if it's the same topic, interesting still.
mm.
You know,
Yeah, that's a very good
it's
skill to have.
because he always obviously he always ends it with, so if I've given you something new to think about, hit that like, hit that shield, hit that subscribe.
Mm.
Hey, how you doing? This is RJ. I always like that intro he does. Hey, how you doing? This is RJ. I'm still like wondering if him and Prof are gonna do an interview together, because there was a Prof did share last year that they commented on RJ's one of RJ's videos to come on to talk to him, and RJ was open to do that. I really want to see what that conversation is, because I know that RJ had a sit down with Literature Devil. Have you heard of literature? Yeah. Have you heard of
Uh,
yeah, Literature
I'm
Devil?
I'm subscribed to Literature Devil, but I haven't watched those videos much either. I mean, when you have like I have perhaps literally hundreds of subscriptions, I can't watch every channel all the time. So
Of course. Me,
yeah,
I'm just like, for me, it's I find ways to make time, or at least
mm,
I basically put it on watch later, and then watch it. It was basically YouTube's version of save it for later. You already know that, of course.
yeah,
But yeah, like in the case of RJ, on the other hand, I stop everything and watch his stuff. That's the thing. I like because of RJ, I'm like okay, he's got something new to talk about,
mm,
so let's hear it. Let's hear it, RJ. Let's hear what you got to say, buddy. But yeah, I just shared the link in case if anybody needs to check his stuff out and subscribe to it if they like, because I know Sounding Graver mentioned him a few times in her stream too. And boy, when she mentioned
mm,
that, my I perked up like a dog uh that perks up for anything, anything.
mm.
I'm like, she watches RJ too. Nice.
Yeah. I suspect we have a lot of common subscriptions and interests uh, when if we really started to go into it. Uh, that's usually how people are. You somehow end up in the same circles, or as
Yeah,
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure
common
put it,
ground basically.
stand you. Yeah, as JoJo put it, stand users end up hanging around each other.
Yep. Brian Martin
Ah,
says, I'd actually like to meet RJ, the fourth agent, in person one day. Yeah, me too. If you knew what he looked like, because that man has no. I don't think. He's just a voice, man. At this point, to me. Simon Proctor says RJ, Literature Devil, and the Professor are all Comics Gate writers. They pretty much are, yeah.
mm. Oh,
Um,
oh,
JoJo, yeah.
JoJo's. Yeah, that reminds me. Uh, uh, I should perhaps I should when I get to that, making a stream about Finnish mythology. I've been thinking of doing that one with Ishi. Uh, I should
Hmm.
uh, I should mention that in the old Finnish belief system, Finns or people had a three-part soul. There's henki, breath, spirit, literally the animating spirit of a person. There's itse, which is the self, and then there's
Hmm.
luonto or nature. And the luonto is basically your magical ability or strength, and it's usually imagined as a animal or a natural spirit. And I've heard a few people joke that uh, a luonto is basically a stand. All Finns are stand users.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Uh, Joni, if you
Hmm?
don't mind me asking, are you a creator of some sort, or you just work? You just work.
Uh,
Period. Do you have any kind of do you do any art? Is what I'm asking.
uh, I technically I'm just a worker, but in the background, while I work, I usually try to imagine this fantasy world. I hope to make it into a Dungeons and Dragons setting one day, and I suppose that's creative work. And uh, I had this idea of basically an almost newly created world that's uh, all it's always in motion, and things like mountains and such are they don't come up over the thousands of years. They come up in generation or two, and cities like move around. So there are no real countries, but city states, and they use these magical MacGuffins to like hunker geography down to to a degree.
Hmm.
And this would be like, and it's not perfect. So within a city, a house would like turn around. So they had to like, that would mean they had to design so that you can get sunlight from basically any direction. So there would be like more windows and such. And trying to like think up how would this affect trade routes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's been a fun creative exercise while I work. And I thought of this
Oh, so
Elven
what you're
city.
saying is
Oh, oh,
you put yourself into your world while you work, like me, basically.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like doing that too, cause every time I'm working, I'm writing my story in my head and rewriting and retweaking some ideas.
Mm.
So, have you seen my work yet,
Oh,
by any
I've
chance?
yeah, I've seen your drawings on Media, and I checked up a few other sites that I shall not mention. Uh, and yeah, I've seen some of the, shall we say, off-brand stuff, and
The off-brand.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of a hotbed too myself when it comes to
I mean, there's no shame in it.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not ashamed. I just know that I'm always ready for whatever people's reactions are.
Hmm.
Yeah, you must have seen my old account then.
Uh, yeah, I suppose it was an older account, and a site that archives art and stuff. Yeah,
Wait, they
you
archived my
might.
work?
Oh, yeah. I I can
People are
perhaps mention it as what?
wait, you saying people are archiving my work everywhere?
Not everywhere, but this one site. I can mention it perhaps after the stream has ended.
Okay. I have to make sure because I know there's people that tend to post work that ain't even theirs here and there.
Mm. No, this is more of an archive site.
Okay. He says, Bragamar says it pays to let your imagination run free while you're putting stuff down on paper. Yep, that is true. Um, so what? Let me ask you this: what's your take on my work?
Uh, well, you are much better at drawing than I am, but to be perfectly honest, it still needs a bit work. But you're
Of course.
yeah. Uh, have you experimented with colors yet? I only remember seeing black and white drawings.
Yes. The thing is, I still got color pictures to put up.
Mm.
Um, if you have been following me on MeWe, I did post the drawing the art that I did for the Pacellis on their Carton the Klingon cleric group,
Oh, they
and it's also
have
on my.
that on. I should check if I can find that on Miivi. Can you like perhaps link it on Miivi
Yeah,
later?
I'll link you in the. No, I can link you right now in the private chat real
Oh,
quick.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And Brian, I'm not on Facebook, but I am on MeWe.
Oh no, I definitely did work with color. I think that's what everybody's impressions keep thinking they don't know I'm that far into my stuff like that. I've actually posted some color pictures up on my profile,
Hmm.
but you must have skimmed through them, or at least
Uh,
you probably
Perhaps I
I'll
skimmed
show.
a bit too fast, or I forgot, and well, I can be a bit scatterbrained at times.
It's okay. You're fine, man. You'll do fine.
Yeah.
Um, I'm scrolling down to show you the Pacelli's picture. It's it's a long way to go, dude.
Mm, yeah, it can take
All
a
right,
long time to find stuff.
I
I know
found it.
how it is.
Where how I'm gonna view this proper so I can link it to you. You know what? I think I can do it this way. Maybe. Yeah, I probably can do it this way. Let's see if this will work. Here's the Pacelli's. If you can actually click on the link, let me know if it works.
Give me a
Well,
second.
it should work. I just clicked on it just
Uh,
now. Well, can you see it on your phone? That's a big
uh,
question, actually.
uh, no, it doesn't show up on the. It gives me a error screen of some sort. This XML file does not appear to.
Oh, sluts.
Yeah, yeah.
Try Twitter then. See if an image link can work. Let me try Twitter because I think I did share it on Twitter. We'll see. Actually, you know what? Let me try the Facebook as well, just in case. As a backup. Oh no,
Mm,
actually no. What the? Nah, dang it. Do I have it archived? Is that the question on my computer right now? As a matter of fact, I do. Let me see if I can share image in the chat. Okay, probably not. I can't. Um, we'll look at it later. Well, you can look
yeah,
at it later. It was worth a
yeah.
shot, guys. It was worth a shot, or at least we can keep talking until I find the the
Uh,
oh, you know what? How about this? I'll show you this one. This art trade I did for a friend of mine's. It should be able to show up the Twitter link. There you go. See if
yeah,
that works.
yeah. Now that I think of it, I might have seen a one of in one of Troy's something or other. Uh, oh yeah, I commented with the Heya Heya video for the this guy. Yeah,
The He-Man.
yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is
But
my my
yeah,
color is
I saw that.
improving. Yeah.
Sorry. I think I saw that Troy Klingon cleric uh,
Yeah.
thing. He's like sitting on a big throne-like seat, and he's got a woman right next
Netter.
to him. Is that? Yeah, yeah.
That's
Of
no
course, it's
that's
Troy
Netter.
and Nether, but yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I was very
Getting a
influenced
bit
by
tired.
oh, oh, you want us to wrap it?
No, no, I'm not. I'm just uh,
Okay.
sort of
Oh,
giving a
okay.
reason why I'm scattered brain. So I
Right,
can go
right,
on for hours.
right. Brian Gamar
But
says I
you
did
were
a little
saying something.
drawing myself while listening to this stream. Yeah. So did I. Actually, it's while we were talking this whole time, I was actually finishing up a drawing just now. More of my characters. Rest assured, Joni, they're the drawings that I've been posting that's black and white. They are going to get colored.
Ah,
I'm just like just trying to. I'm trying to get my speed going. Trying to produce enough sketch work so I start inking and coloring and all that
oh
jazz.
yeah,
Because it's a comic that I'm working on, and I'm just by myself on this one. So
oh yeah,
so
yeah. You
I
and
gotta do. I'm basically doing everything at this point.
mm, mm. And from what I've read and talked with people who draw, that you want to get your fundamentals straight before you get to inking and coloring, so that you have like a good grasp of what you're supposed to do when you get to that point.
That too, and I want to make sure that all my characters' designs are consistent, and I'm
Mm,
comfortable enough to keep the consistency going.
mm.
So there's that as well.
Yeah. Oh, that gives me a. Have you done like a silhouette test for your characters?
Not yet. Is there any? How do you do that, by the way?
Uh, I haven't had to like do it myself, but it basically can you make the silhouettes of your characters recognizable, so that even if it's like just a all black spot, you can still like recognize your characters from each other. Uh,
Yeah, I would say I could, but that's just me from my eyes. I would like to
yeah,
try it out to see if anybody could differentiate them.
yeah.
I need to
That
get
could be a
I need to
good
get into
experiment.
digital art. I need to get into digital art to try that. At least something like that.
Yeah, I suppose it would be easier to do with a digital drawing too.
Uh, Melissa Harris is in here. I haven't forgotten about you. Melissa, you're not late. Technically, we're still going. I mean, Melissa Harrison's son is never late. She arrives precisely as she is needed.
Mm.
But I'll give you the abridged version of what you missed so far. Joni's been regaling us with a bit of Finnish history. Give me a little bit of language lessons. Speaking lessons. I'm sorry, speaking lessons. We shared a little bit of pop culture here and there, talking about Berserk. He mentioned JoJo. Vikings. We talked about Vikings a bit extensively, but next time we're doing this, we're talking about Vikings way more extensively, right, Joni? I
Oh
mean, if you're up
yeah,
for that.
oh yeah, I am. Yeah, all we need to do is find a good time to like start these streams, so that hopefully we could maybe get Samuli uh, as
Yeah,
well.
because I know Samuel will has asking. He has now asked to join us, so hopefully he'll be joining us as well.
Mm.
And yeah, I've been, bruh. It's been a while. I've been looking for a Vikings fan. That's just that's not just my wife because she as much as I love her, she's Filipino. She was like she tries to like everything. Like you put her in front of anything, she'll say I like it.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
the, but
I might have that problem as well a bit. I might be a bit
yeah,
too forgiving at times.
yeah, I was like that years ago when I was a bit younger. Now I'm more critical, like the professor, somewhat. I could be forgiven to some aspect. Like earlier before we started, we were talking about the series. I was talking about the series Pacific Rim Black or
Mm.
Pacific Rim the Black, and I'm slightly lenient with that series. Like I said, it stands to use more improvement.
Mm.
Uh, Back to my artwork. The only reason why the artwork looks like that is because I'm not going to add shading. The reason why it doesn't have shading in it is because that's my style of how I prepare it to get it inked.
Mm.
So that's why you don't see no shot. That's why it looks bare and flat. Is what I'm saying.
Mm.
Because if I put shading into it, I have to erase all that and it will leave a smear,
Mm. Yeah. Uh,
and the ink will catch it. So
oh yeah.
I tend to leave it as sparse and bare so that when I erase it after inking it, then I can color it and it looks that's how I work basically.
Mm.
Um, Now I have done shading again in one of my artwork. I still got to do, and I tried a different technique too. Have you? Oh no, you don't draw, do you?
I, I used to draw, but uh, at one point I stopped, and I've been thinking of maybe I should like get into it again. But as with all things, you need time, you need actual interest. I mean, I've been saying I should learn
Hmm.
to play the kantele, our national instrument, but you need time. I need to uh, actually like buy one and learn to play it.
Not
Am
familiar
I
with
still
that.
coming through the? Hmm?
Not familiar with that instrument.
Yeah, it's a Finnish instrument. It's a well, it's a string instrument. Uh, it's basically a how would I describe it? Think about uh, park rectangle, and it has this kind of an uh, pyramid, uh, not pyramid shape. The thing that people used to uh, draw the hypotenuse and that what's that shape? Kind of a triangle.
Hypotenuse triangle.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me look that
That
up.
sticks out of the. Uh,
Let me
I'm
look
not
up the
good at
pipe.
describing shapes, so perhaps it
Let me
would be
see.
just faster to Google Kantele on or any search use any search engine to.
Yeah, text put in the chat.
Yeah, I'll put it in the public chat so people can
Yeah,
uh, uh,
definitely.
have a look themselves. Kante, Kantele, there we go. It's it's a national instrument, and hmm, is it not showing up? Oh, there we go.
It's gonna take a
Uh,
while for
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. I noticed there's a slight delay between the putting in the public chat and it showing up here in the comments. Thank you,
All
Melissa.
right.
Uh, yeah, it's a string instrument, and oh, I should have mentioned this earlier, but now it might as well. Uh, Don Rosa and Karl Barks Donald Duck comics are incredibly popular in Finland, and especially the Quest for Kalevala comic or Summon
Oh, that
Salaisuus.
one. I see. You know what? I've seen this.
Yeah, and
It's
the
almost reminiscent to the well, not reminiscent. It's kind of I wouldn't say it's similar, but it also reminds me of the Chinese instrument, the Chinese guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not
Uh,
the yeah, Chinese guitar. No, not that one. It's another string instrument that they use that you probably know what I'm talking about, but no, the forgot what it's called.
yeah, I think there's a Japanese instrument that's kind of similar as well. Was it the koto? I should like look that up how that one looks as well.
You know, it really shows how culture does transcend through time and how it's intermixed
Hmm,
into things. And it's again back to what the social progressives acting like people are stealing stuff. I'm like, no, it's not stolen. It's passed down, or at
yeah.
least it was inspired.
Hmm,
But the reason why they own it because that's their version of it. That's one thing they don't
hmm,
understand. That's their version of it, not somebody else's version. That's their version.
hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
it comes from. Go ahead.
yeah. Just did a search and one video uh, calls the kantele a Finnish harp, which is, I suppose, not an inaccurate description. And so, some of these kanteles do look like certain koto instruments. They are both string instruments. So and
You got me
kantele
look.
come in
Want to look up this
six.
this instrument and
Hmm?
see how it's played too, because I do sorry I don't mean to get in your way there, but I've been wanting to I've been really wanting to explore other instruments that are from different cultures too. Like what's that one instrument that you turn and play the keys on that they use for
Uh,
Scandinavian music, I think.
uh, Turn and keys. Not an accordion.
No, not an accordion. It's got
Uh,
this like this it's kind of like a crank, and you
Crank.
play you press the buttons to hit a different sound. The
Orgel. Orgel. The organ.
no, not the organ. That's
Oh,
not it's not a piano. It's not a piano.
hmm,
It's a very strange instrument that was made centuries ago. It's got this sound going kind of like that.
hmm. I'm not immediately familiar with it.
I know it's the sound comes here and there in Vikings for the soundtrack.
Huh.
I have to
I
look
guess
it
we'll
up
have to
myself.
look that up. Give me a second. I'll have to change from my earpods to a corded uh,
Okay,
thing. Yeah, the batteries on this thing are almost dead. So give me a
all
second.
right. Oh, it's not Scandinavian. I was wrong, guys. It's not Scandinavian.
There we go.
All right.
Open.
No, we didn't have no we didn't have no feedback.
Hmm. Oh,
No.
I just heard an echo a few times, so I figured that. Oh, and when I looked at the battery, it was like 10%. So yeah.
Trooper FN 2525 suggests the hurdy-gurdy, or I can't pronounce that other word.
Uh,
Yeah, I
ny-
think that's what that is.
yeah, nyckelharppa. Huh. Can't remember hearing about that in a while. I'll have to look how it looks like.
Yep, this is the one. It's got the crank and you press buttons, and it's kind of like it's basically a kind of like a cranking violin.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's a completely new instrument to me.
Yeah, Frederick Knudsen did a down the rabbit hole video about it actually.
Hmm, interesting. I'll
He
have to
said
look that up.
he also says, well, it's spelled yeah, like well, how he's spelling it right now, but like he says when I spell it, people look at it look at it weird. But yeah, yeah, Frederick Newson. Yeah, are you familiar with Frederick Newson?
I watched a video of his or two. I really should watch more of them, especially the one on the mouse utopia.
Yeah, that was my favorite among the uh I hate the references because it's kind of a it's kind of like I'm getting joy of hearing somebody suffering. But the Final Fantasy House episode, he also did one about that. Of course, Chris Chan,
Oh yeah.
and his best one was the Wings of Wings of Redemption episode, which that's the first time he actually did something that long
Hmm.
until until he until he outdid himself with this other one with the chess playing computer. I think it's called Blue something like that, something blue. Yeah, he
Hmm.
that one went for I think 5 hours, maybe less. I just know it was way more than the Wings of Redemption episode. I was like, boy, if you don't stop,
Hmm.
we ain't ready to leave wrap up yet, Melissa. But thank you for reminding me though.
Oh, I'll have to watch that X-Men anime. See if I can have enough time to like catch up, or if I'll just have to like start watching with you guys and then check it up back in the later.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that one ever since I first watched it, actually. And I think my feelings still remain. I don't think they ever changed since then. But I'm always willing to rewatch it. But yeah, I just finished the Wolverine anime too, and wow, it's good for what it is, but the ending was kind of dry. Just letting you guys know the end to that Wolverine anime, it's kind of dry.
Hmm.
Plus, Peter Petrelli was the voice of Wolverine in that one. If you
Oh,
ever watched Heroes,
I watched a bunch of episodes, but I dropped out pretty quickly. It came at an
yeah,
bad hour for me, like when it came here in Finland.
it ended on I guess it ended on an open ended ending basically. Yeah, no, well, let me try to rephrase the sentence. It ended. No, that's no. There's no way I can spin it to make it sound flow better. It's really tickling my my head trying to say it correctly grammar wise. I mean,
Mm, mm. One point I've been thinking of, I should have said this earlier, but regarding like representation, like I mentioned that Finns are always happy when they see a Finnish character, but
hmm
I've never had it as a like it must have or like an obligation. It's always been a bonus.
hmm
I like if a show has an interesting character or a character I can relate to, and even that is not or the relatability, even that is not something that is a must. The only about or in the end, all a show needs is interesting characters that are interesting to watch, for a lack of better term. and
Yeah,
in the end,
Trooper
that
FN 25. Oh, you you
no,
want
go
to
ahead.
go ahead finish? Okay. Trooper FN 2525 says the orchestrion. It's a machine that incorporates the violin and piano organ. It plays roles of pre-cut music. Turn of the century. There's only a few left. Yeah. Years ago, that there were times there was like a, you could say is almost a witch hunt to get those things burned, and like only a few of them survived. Um, and I think uh the instructions on how to make them has lost the time too. I believe that's probably why there's so few of them preserved. Uh, Melissa Harris is talking about the she's giving us some Marvel info about the X-Men anime. Well, not well, the Wolverine anime specifically. Yeah, she mentions that was based on Frank Miller. Yes, slightly though. It's more exaggerated though. It's far too exaggerated, if you ask me. Um,
So I
not
would
too bad though. Not too bad,
an
but yeah.
exaggerated adaptation.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Well, it's Japan. Of course, it's gonna be exaggerated.
Or yeah, they tend to do that a bit, a bit.
It's not a bad thing though, but the my only
Yeah.
issue with the Wolverine anime, the fight between him, because Omega Red shows up later on in the anime, but the fight between him and Omega Red went on too long.
Ah. Oh, good thing that you mentioned Omega Red because during the X-Men stream, I started thinking about, uh, of course, countries like Finland were relatively relatively unimportant on the global stage, sadly. But during the Cold War, we did have a relatively important uh, part, especially for spies, because Finland was right next to the Soviet Union. So we were in that way important. And I'd like to think that our diplomatic efforts stopped our third world war, at least in part,
Mm,
especially that the Soviets wouldn't use nukes because there were Finns like saying, "No, don't do that, guys." And for what
hmm
and to our credit, they did listen to us every once in a while. There was one time when I can't remember if which Soviet premier or high up it was, but when he was visiting Finland, he went to our President Kekkonen, and Kekkonen like basically put his hand around his shoulder and said, "That thing you did recently, you can't do that. That causes huge amounts of problem for people everywhere, including you guys." And the Soviet guy did listen. So Finnish people have at least after the Second World War, have had this role of diplomancers in a way, diplomats, almost yeah, diplomats. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
let me address Melissa real quick. We did get a Punisher anime, but it was called Punisher and Black Widow Confidential. So we so to address your comment there, we did get that. It was on Netflix for a while, along with all the other Marvel anime shows, except for Blade and X-Men, which is kind of stupid on their part. They remove Iron Man: The Rise of Technovore. Um, I think Wolverine, but probably they found a way to bring back Wolverine.
yeah, yeah.
I don't.
I noticed they at least Finnish Netflix put up the X-Men and Wolverine anime like a month ago.
Hmm. Why I do not know, cause yeah, they didn't even
Yeah,
put the Iron Man anime up there, or even the what's another one? But besides the Blade one, there was more stuff. I can't remember though.
I only remember the X-Men, Wolverine, and the Iron Man one. So, and I haven't seen any of them. But to continue about
Go
yeah,
ahead.
that okay. I know that large countries usually ignore Finland and are part in like the world events. But when writing fiction, it could be a good idea uh, to look at smaller countries next to larger ones and see how what influence they have had. And for example, I don't know if you are aware of it, but in Finland we have universal male conscription. Every Finnish man has to serve in the army or civilian service for 6 months to a year. And if you consider the Marvel universe, that would mean the Finnish army would have mutants in it. And due to our history as the nation of witches and trolls, we probably would have a slightly more positive view of mutants, especially considering if there's a powerful mutant who can defend against the Soviet Union. So that's a thing to consider when writing uh, smaller countries uh, or doing world building.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I know, as I said, I never consider it a like obligation of to people to put in Finnish characters, but that's a thing one can consider when writing things, like check up on the neighbors of the big and important bad guy or the big and important good guy.
Right. Melissa Harris and Sons. I didn't mean to slow you down there, Joni, but I have
No,
to address this real quick. She says the SJWs are going after Looney Tunes now. They're attacking Pepe Le Pew, Speedy, and they ruined Lola Bunny. Let Age Boomer and Troy know what would be a good topic tonight for geeky geezers. Um, at this point, I'm indifferent. I'm not like touching that one with a 10 foot pole. They've been uh the best thing I can say is Pepe Le Pew should have been removed a long time ago, or his character should have been changed long time ago. They had at this point we had the power to really fix Pepe Le Pew. Unfortunately, everybody who knows Pepe Le Pew or rather familiar with Pepe Le Pew would be would be hard pressed to even be okay with that change, because that's basically his character, or at least he's the basic the basis about the basis of Pepe Le Pew's characteristic is the fact that he's a I wouldn't go as far as call him a sexual harasser or anything, or or even a
let me
potential rapist.
yeah. He's a
You want to jump in?
Frenchman who belongs in horny jail, is one way to
Yeah,
put it.
he's basically a stereotypical Frenchman
Mm.
in that case. But yeah, they could have just said they're removing Pepe Le Pew because he's a very stereotypical interpretation of French people.
Mm.
They had so many chances to do that, but they went for the whole rape thing. I'm like, rape culture thing. I'm like, oh, you going back to the rape culture now? Okay,
Mm.
okay.
I mean,
Because
I'm sure you.
I'll tell you right now. I watched Pep. I'm sorry. I'll let you get your
Mm.
word in. Let me say this real quick. I watched Pepe Le Pew, and I never came up to a girl and start kissing her like Pepe Le Pew did at all.
Mm.
I just thought he was kind of entertaining. But we also a few people I talked to on Twitter cite the fact that there was a moment where Fifi the cat would literally get there was an episode where she get drunk and start chasing after him now, and that's where it started become less fun for him, which is funny because it's like a role reversal,
Mm.
and we laugh at that, and I'm like, I don't know how I felt about that when I was a kid. I just thought it was kind of funny, maybe, I guess. But yeah, like go ahead, say what you guys say.
Yeah,
Yeah, add your 2 cents on this one.
yeah, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen anything with Pepe Le Pew, but I'm sure there would be many ways you could like I don't know, tone it down or change his role just a little bit so that you could still use him in more modern adaptations of Looney Tunes, like make him a bit more gentlemanly, like maybe like still keep the kissing bit, but he only kisses the hand and such, and or something
Hmm.
like that, which is still bad, but you know it's gentlemanly bad.
Melissa, that ain't love. That's lust.
Mm,
What he's displaying there is a lust thing, not a love
mm,
thing. I mean, let's just I like I said, I doubt he would ever be that kind of person. But like the way how he's infatuated towards her, that's a lust thing. He's so obsessed with her and stuff. Um, it's like like I'd be hard pressed. I wouldn't be hard pressed if they even went after Johnny Bravo for that matter. And
oh,
I
oh,
know.
they've been going after Johnny Bravo for years. And hi, Matanui.
Yep. Hey, Manui. Yeah, I'm about to I'm starting to fade a bit, and I'm guessing people are starting to
Yeah.
fade a bit. So we might as well just start beginning to wrap it up. So let me put this banner real quick. Bonus section, so we can talk about some stuff real quick before we start getting ready to wrap it up, so that everybody can prepare for geeky gears tonight. And yeah, I need to eat too.
Mm.
Pepe Le Pew. Sorry. Bragamar says Pepe Le Pew is what I call a horny toad. Melissa Harris. She says he's an old school character. He should not change for the weirdos on Twitter. No, he should not. But like I said, if anything, he should be toned down a bit because that comedy that comedy does not age well at the moment. It doesn't really age that much. I will say this. I will say this. He was toned down in Tiny Toon Adventures because he was the teacher of Fifi Lafoon, or Fefe Lafoon. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. So I regale me, Johnny. Did you watch Tiny Toons? Did they
uh,
ever bring out Tiny Toons over in Finland?
I, I have memories of watching it. I can't remember which of the local channels had it, but I did watch some episodes, and I remember playing as a rental the Super Nintendo game for Tiny Toon Adventures.
Hmm. I remember playing that game too. Do you remember Fefe Lafoon? Fifi Lafoon?
Uh, no, not really.
Ah, dang it! Because I'm pretty sure she was always she was just like Pepe, but she was toned down a bit, way more so than he was. Cause she was like she was like the type of girl that was like looking for a date, but oh no, this was happening. She tried to go on dates, but the problem is that she's a skunk, and you know what skunks are like. They smell.
Mm, yeah.
Maybe Melissa. Maybe I think she was too. Yeah, it was Fifi Lefume or Lefume. I don't know. I gotta get back into learning French, studying French. um, yeah, but about Pepe Le Pew, I don't know, man. I'm 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 keeping my distance on that one. Now, as far as Lola Bunny's concerned, same thing. I'm like, I kept my distance from the whole Lola situation because I was not even that interested in the sequel to Space Jam in the first place. Mainly due because Space Jam didn't even need a sequel. Space
Mm,
Jam was one and done,
yeah,
and then they're gonna have. And how the heck you gonna have LeBron James as the front runner character and not Michael Jordan?
yeah, yeah, and especially considering the whole political situation LeBron James was put into, like, was it last year, the year before that? Yeah, that's gonna cost some viewers, I'm gonna guess.
Uh, and of all people, LeBron James, he's on my hit. Well, I wouldn't say that he's not on my hit list. He's on my list of celebrities I could not give a snoot about, basically. Well, yeah, Maddie, I'm just saying, it's like I appreciate those who are doing art of her and all that stuff in protest, but like at this point, I'm just enjoying the art for what it is, when they do the art. But like the defense is like, whatever. She had flat chest in Looney Tunes show, anyways, so I wasn't even tripping off of that. Um, but Melissa, this is what I want to read. She says, "Things should not be toned down because that in my book is letting SJWs have their way." It it goes beyond SJWs, Melissa. It really goes beyond that. Like SJWs, the thing is, SJWs are now more ever present in that type of thing. You gotta remember, soccer moms was a thing. Soccer moms wanted things to be toned down. Remember
Mm.
that the RoboCop cartoon toned down. They wanted to tone down RoboCop in the movies. Remember that the Ninja Turtles sequels got toned down after the first movie because of soccer moms crying.
Mm. There's always somebody complaining about media. It's just a part of humanity, I guess.
Hmm. Why is she getting so antsy? I hear her.
Yeah, she
Does she
wants
want to cuddle?
attention.
Triple FN 2525 says it is a snapshot of the time when the characters were created. Being offended is just a pretext to not be judged for personal opinion, which you're not immune to critique. Don't judge. If you're sorry, if you're not immune to critique, don't judge. Let he who has yet excuse me. Let he who has not sinned cast the first stone. But yeah. And yeah, Brian Gilmore, we'll always have classic Space Jam. I'm gonna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle.
I believe
Did
I
you ever
can fly. I
Oh, I was
believe
about
I
to
can
ask you.
touch the sky. I think
I was about to
about every
ask.
night and day. Spread my wings
Nice.
and fly away. I believe I can soar.
I see me running through that open door. I can believe. I can't tell you how long it's been since. Oop, we lost. Oh, there he is. He's back. I thought we lost you there, Joni. You scared me there. No, I was gonna say, it's been a while since I sung any R. Kelly songs concerning what he done in the past, and yeah,
Yeah, I,
we're not gonna
I
do.
I heard
We're
the
not gonna,
stuff, and oh yeah, oh dear, oh dear.
yeah, I'm not. We're not gonna dig that up. Really, no. If I was helming the Space Jam sequel, you know who would have been my front runner in place of Michael Jordan? Sadly, he untimely lost his life last year. Kobe Bryant.
Ah, oh yeah.
Yeah, he would have been my pick for the main if they didn't want if Michael Jordan didn't want to do the production or at least not be a part of it as a cameo. But as if I had to pick a main character, it would have been Kobe.
Yeah, I heard Kobe Bryant was a decent guy.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing: regardless of what anybody thought of him, man did not deserve to lose his life like that, let alone
Mm,
his child. Let's just say that.
yeah.
Um, Now I know I said I'm keeping my distance from it, but here's one thing I will say: Why y'all still messing with Speedy Gonzalez?
Yeah,
Y'all should.
uh,
I thought that hatchet was buried a long time ago.
yeah. Every time there's been brouhaha over Speedy Gonzalez, there's always hundreds of Mexicans saying they love Speedy Gonzalez. I mean, Speedy Gonzalez is a hero, a fast
hmm
one.
hmm He's basically Zorro to them.
Yeah,
They're
he's a cartoon, tiny cartoon Zorro who's really clever. Yeah,
yeah. It's like now they don't remove black folk from products too. Did you
yeah.
know that?
Oh, yeah. I heard they removed Uncle Ben from the rice packages uh, and Auntie Gemini.
Aunt Jemima. Aunt
Yeah,
Jemima.
Jemima. I don't think we've had her here in Finland. So,
Now
uh,
you got to deal with what's that? What they call it now? Something wheat meal or something. I'm
mm,
like, so let me get this straight. You removed a black person off the label of a product. Yet we also have black people talking about something. You are violating my right to exist, and you're talking about erasure and all black erasure and all that stuff. But you let them remove Aunt Jemima.
yeah, yeah.
To quote Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat, "You weak, pathetic fools! I come for your souls."
Mm,
Tell you,
yeah,
my spineless black folk. You
yeah.
you let them do this.
Mm,
I'm gonna say I'm gonna say when these woke blacks ask where's Aunt Jemima on his body, I'm gonna look at you. I'm like, you want like blame white people all you want, but you did this.
mm,
You let them do this. We've
yeah.
been trying to fight for this, but you allowed to do this because you agreed that this was racism, that you were
Mm,
fighting racism. But now you're here looking for Aunt Jemima. This is your fault. I'm sorry. This is your fault.
mm. And at least for me, Uncle Ben's rice was okay. We didn't have it like a lot, but he was always a friendly face at very least.
hmm
And all this uh, cancel culture stuff, it has even affected Finnish products as they tried. In Finland, we have this confectionery company called Fatser,
Hmm.
and they make this chocolate called geisha, and they tried to remove or cancel the geisha chocolate.
Because
And
it has a Japanese woman.
yeah, and uh, all the Japanese people I've talked to have gone like, "What? You have a chocolate named that? Oh, that's cool."
Drew FN 2525 said, I touched on this. It's taking away your heritage and your place in the household. Smile, warm face on the table to redefine blackness. Yep, that is so true. That is so true. And they allowed it too. Yeah, these are the people that they're asking for representation.
Mm,
I smell the hypocrisy. But you know what? With that being said, let's start wrapping this one up. I'd like to
yep,
thank my friend here, Artificer Joni, for gracing us with the amazing culture from from Finland. I'd like to I really appreciate you sharing culture with all of us and vice versa. Well, at least hopefully I shared a little bit of culture with you as well. But I enjoyed these talks too. Tonight will be Geeky Geezers, along with H Boomer and Troy Pacelli. They got a lot of things to say. I know that they have the thumbnail says it all. So don't worry, Melissa. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get to talking about the Looney Tunes and all that jazz. Later on today, me and Matchstick will be continue our watch of the anime, the X-Men anime. I mean, Monday will be Monday Night Muse with Sound and Engraver. We hopefully she has a topic for us tomorrow. Maybe we'll see. The future doesn't hold anything for us. Next Tuesday, the Wolf Commander, the Lay of Valor, and the Schooner of the Tuna will be continuing our our review of the X-Men franchise, starting with X-Men Apocalypse and finishing up with Dark Phoenix, because we have not seen New Mutants, so we're not going to touch that one out of respect. Thursday is an open slot, but Wednesday we will have Second Cut Cafe with Fanman, I believe. Hopefully he's still doing that. I don't know. Don't quote me. Later on that day, it will be Green Lion Girl with her Final Fantasy VII Remake stream, along with Songs with Birdman with Daniel Herron and Age Boomer or Big Al, whoever will be guesting. Same thing on Thursday will be, I believe, the Professor and Big Al will be covering Star Wars. Was it Blood Harvest? Red Harvest? Red Harvest. Uh, Same token on Tuesday, I think me, Matchstick, Age Boomer, and Troy Pacheco will be continuing Culture Fortress after my show is done. Um, Hopefully I'll get done faster next time and I'll be late to that one. Friday, I do believe something's happening on Friday. I'm not sure who it is or what it is. Maybe Green Lion Girl will be continuing OG Final Fantasy 7, but we'll see. Saturday, I think Big Al has the rewatch reigns on this one this time around. I think he's doing The Quiet Man, actually. Yeah. Um, Guess that's it for now. Sunday is open slot for anybody who wants to talk to the Web Commander, just like at this time. Um, Thursday is an open slot as well, so feel free to contact me as always, and I'll see if I can squeeze you in, or we'll come up with a topic ourselves, or whoever. Or I think me and Leia Plus us might have something together, and you'll be in a mix with that slot. So other than that, this has been Wolf 10 Media, your werewolf, your Wolf Commander. This has been Artificer Joni. Sign us out, Artificer Joni.
Ö, Hyvää yötä kaikille. Good night, everybody.
Nice. All right, everybody, you have a good evening, and please enjoy the rest of the evening. And I gotta go pee. Bye. Ow!